right, fair dues. It makes sense. I don't blame him. He's been going crazy.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Simply Reliable Studios Simple Summary here after a live event. I am the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, your host and moderator. Traditionally, this is just a couple minute segment that we do at the end of a watch along, but with as momentous as tonight's Raw was, we decided to go ahead and do a full-on panel. Anybody that wanted to join, Mr. Reliable Walter Cruz is here. Ryan is here, as is DJ, both of whom made their debut on Saturday Shenanigans this past week. Go check that out if you guys missed it. Big Baller G and Josh Mansfield are in the house, as is the Heeb Man James Hebert. Notable by his absence is the simple man with the spectacular voice, Noah Foster, but he does have work in the morning. It is late for the simple man, and if we're being real, we have no idea how long we're gonna go. So let's let the man get his rest ahead of New Year's Evil, which got even bigger than it already was this evening when they announced that there would be a special guest at the Shrine for New Year's Evil, as the most electrifying man in all of entertainment will be there as well. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Gentlemen, what is going on? How is everybody doing this evening? And before we start breaking this show down bit by bit, I just kind of want to go around the horn, especially to the people that just kind of joined the festivities. Walter, you've been on the ride with me the whole show, but Ryan, DJ, G, James, Josh, like just an overall couple of words really quickly. What did you guys think of tonight's show? We'll start with Ryan.
Tonight's show was electric, but it did have its long pauses. We had like 3 big matches, maybe 4, may have miscounted, but there's a lot of segments in between, and I wasn't really excited about that. They took things off of this Raw that was supposed to be here that wasn't here and moved them for next week, which might have been a timing delay, but we also heard that timing wasn't supposed to be an issue for these Netflix streams. So that's my thoughts on it. Otherwise, overall, great night for wrestling.
Fair enough. DJ?
If I had one word to describe it, it'd be euphoric. It was such a different show from what you're normally used to seeing from WWE television.
Yep.
I liked a lot of the small production changes they made. It looked great. It didn't look like just a wrestling show. It looked like a spectacle event you only see once in a lifetime. I agree with Ryan where there was a lot of stuff taken off of the show due to timing, but I think that was just due to WWE emphasizing their big stars like Cody, Rock, Jay, all the big names to get new or old eyeballs who stopped watching in the past back on the TV. So I thought they did a really good job at doing that.
Fair enough. Thank you. Big G?
Like I said on your stream at the beginning, I was like a kid in a candy store, just excited. Like I couldn't remember the last time I was excited for a Monday Night Raw. I thought from start to finish, besides that one segment that we'll get to, I thought it was great. You know, you had the 4 big matches that they advertised last week. I understood why they didn't put Penta on this show yet, and in the women's IC title, so they wouldn't get lost in the shuffle on this big night in LA. You had all the stars out there. It was tremendous from start to finish, in my opinion. Anybody else?
Yeah, I thought it was a great show. I thought it delivered on all fronts. I thought they did a very good job at building to the future as well. I think they promoted their next week's show very well. Their 27th Raw, they're making a big deal just by saying a date, having Roman Reigns say a date. That's how much aura that guy has. So he just provided that. So that's going to be huge, in my opinion. I'm looking forward to those shows. And yeah, they actually made me want to potentially tune in next week. And I think if you are a weekly wrestling show, the goal is to, okay, this is great this week, but what are you doing to get me to tune in next week? I thought they did a bang up job by giving us a show that was great in the moment and advertising for the future. So, few gorilla thumbs up for me.
Josh?
This show, well, for us hardcore fans, I think just looking at it as just us may have felt a little slighted at points. I really think that this was meant to get the casual viewers back in and invested while also giving us treats and rewarding us for tuning in for as long as we have. And I get that it was rumored that this was supposed to be 3.5 hours. They're probably factoring in Rock going longer, which is fair because it's The Rock. But you had those moments. You had The Rock. You had The Undertaker. Now, and I want to get to him in his spot later. And you had Brother. But then for the casuals. But then for us, the hardcore fans, you had Roman in his first match on TV since 2002. You had Punk's first match on TV since 2011, which is why that main evented, by the way. So, rewarding the hardcore, faithful viewing audience while getting the newer crowd, or the crowd that's been away for a while, back in. And we already know what's coming, so we're already invested in the Intercontinental title finals, in all the other matches, in Penta, etc. And now, the promos that they did, and Michael Cole on commentary was amazing. Just getting the casual viewers back in, just bravo all around.
Yes.
Fair enough. You know, I noticed you and a couple other people mentioned Penta. Specifically, Penta's kind of come up here in the chat a couple of times as well. I did feel maybe just a little bit, I don't know if the word is slighted, but weird that they didn't go with the Penta debut here. You know, in some senses, I guess it makes sense because it was already a loaded card, but you figure Lucha Underground was out here. He was supposed to team with Rey Mysterio from San Diego, California. Lucha Brothers had their store, Republic of Lucha, in Pasadena, California.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, juju and stuff to have him make that debut here and for them not to go ahead with it for whatever the reason is. I think that might have hurt them in the long haul, because even though people will be excited next week when he debuts to take on Chad Gable as the mysterious luchador, I think like there's all the roots for him here in LA to have pulled that trigger.
Yeah. I mean, they'll be in San Jose next week, so it's still California.
Not the same.
Yeah, I know.
But if I may rebut.
Okay.
Thing is, this is, as what we were saying, this will have the biggest casual fan audience of any Raw on Netflix, period. Do you really want to bring someone out that that 99% of those casuals will have no clue who he is for him to just get like from people online and people not care about him next week when the match happens, or not care about him next week, or do you want to bring him in and give that to the casuals, give that little hint and taste of special surprise luchador next week? Hey, you should tune in. I think that's the point. And that's why I think they also held back on pretty much every return people were guessing at was going to happen.
With the exception of The Rock, yeah.
Except for The Rock and, unfortunately, Brother.
Yeah.
Before someone else speaks on that, popping in now is Jeff Meacham,
Hell yeah.
Hey!
who, of course, was there live, asshole that
Lucky
he
Southern
is.
Mucker.
Now, hey, you know what though? Karma got me because the Hulkamaniac in me was not having a good time during that part of the show. Other than that, great show. Terry did not read the room well there at all. My goodness. Whew.
When does he?
Before I brought Jeff in, Ryan, you looked like you wanted to say something to Josh about the Penta situation.
Well, I get trying to not have a lukewarm debut, but there isn't a better time when you have so many eyes on the product. Next week's episode might have fewer viewers. Historically speaking, these debut episodes on any channel are the largest audience you get. So,
yeah, the crowd was ready for Penta, 100%.
Oh,
they would have rather saw Penta than Hulk Hogan, evidently.
Oh,
no, that's more than valid.
Question for Jeff. So were they really like anticipating that in the crowd that Penta was debuting tonight?
We were talking about it all throughout. I mean, to be fair, we got here before 12. Yeah, yeah, we got here before noon, and right now it's 8:30 for perspective for folks not watching in the Pacific time zone. So we've been here for almost 9 hours total, and they were talking about Penta throughout the afternoon. Like it was almost like, okay, well, we're getting all this other shit, and plus, this is their market, man. They used to have JJ knows they used to have a store out in Pasadena. Like this is Penta and Ray's market.
Yeah.
So
I agree with those sentiments, guys, but in WWE's eyes, they're trying to capture the most of what they lost. And I don't see debuting Penta would be a big deal where they were. Yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah. But I don't think it would have that same impact we think it would have because it's the first Raw on Netflix. They're trying to get old viewers back, not entertain new ones.
And to add to your point, DJ, I don't mean to cut you off, Jeff. I also think they're trying to do more audience retention as opposed to overall audience growth in the short term. I think they want long-term growth, not short-term growth. I think they know they're gonna, crap out on the next week's Raw, and they're not gonna get nearly as much. But I think they're trying to steadily grow and not rush everything because you only get one opportunity and not, take your time. Slow and steady wins the race type of approach on that. I think that's why they're doing it.
Exactly. Exactly. Because from the SA, for example, Raw this week gets 6 million viewers. When's the last time Raw got 6 million viewers? A long time ago. And even if if they retain 4 million of that next week, that's still a huge success.
Win. Yeah, that's a huge win.
So from that aspect, that I can see from their eyes, well, it's better than we have 4 million eyes on Penta than the 800,000 that Tony had on him.
Yeah.
So my only counter to that is part of Undertaker's Hall of Fame speech. Perception is reality. The crowd at home is going to hear the Angelinos pop for Penta. Like that would have been big for future processing. Also, I understand that the partnership with Real American Beer started today, but there was so much negative chatter about it. I would have kept him in a backstage segment and just not let us out there in the arena or in the dome just eat him alive because the majority. Yeah. I think I was the only one that wasn't, well, besides Dylan, that wasn't actively booing in my section anyway.
Hang on.
I
we're
was at
saving
home.
that. We are saving that for later because we don't want to.
Okay. Sorry.
We don't
Jay,
want
sorry.
to put them on the skewers now.
We also don't know.
Before we completely end it, I just
King.
want to do one quick shout out. They are doing a better job at promoting that than AEW promoting Ric Flair's Woo Energy.
That's fair.
Yes.
James, we also don't know how long we're going to have Jeff. He is going to be popping
Yes.
into Rimply at
That's
some
fair.
point.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I
Yeah,
told Noah on
yeah.
the call that I would have used Hogan with American Made.
Yeah.
American Made. His WCW song was called American Made.
Exactly.
Synergy is there.
Yeah. The only counter to that counter is they may have eaten Chad and everybody alive because of being with Hogan. So maybe not a good idea.
Mhm.
Isn't
Chad's
he,
already got heat.
I was
Isn't
gonna say
he what
he's a
you
heel.
want?
He needs heat. He needs the heat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a lot of people talking over people as I'm popping in. So let's try to make sure we let the moderator moderate. JJ, sorry. Hell. Yeah, the thing is, there's the heat for the heels, and then there's the please get the fuck out of our dome Hogan heat.
Yeah, he got.
We don't want to chase Chad and American Made away because Chad's finally starting to get some steam back.
Yeah, no, he
This is
got
fair.
Yeah. But yeah, if he does end up facing Penta next week, which looks like it's going to be a thing considering the promo they cut, I'm jealous of San Jose because I love me some Penta and I love Chad Gable. So I'm here for that. By the way, I don't know if you can see him back here on his computer, but those are the Jeff Feature Network. No, Dylan. I don't know if you can see or not. You're in the shadows back there, but Dylan's here with me in the car.
Hey, Dylan.
Our buddy Phil driving us. Much appreciated, Phil.
Hello.
So
Hello.
it is appreciated. Yeah, JJ's right. I was waiting for the signal from Aaron, but yeah, I'll provide my feedback on what I didn't feedback on because I only didn't really chime in on the main event. That was the only match I wasn't sure of the direction it should go, if I'm being honest. I would have been not upset, but I would have not preferred that Rollins won, so he didn't, and I'm okay with it. Roman had to win. I mean, there was just no way around that. Rhea winning was super cool, especially since it is my niece's, JJ's daughter's birthday. So mommy got her title back on a very important day. Just a really good experience. JJ, Dylan revealed to me that he's not been to a show since the SmackDown at LA in 2018.
Jesus Christ.
Oh. So Dylan had not seen the Tribal Chief. Dylan had not seen anybody that's debuted after, 2007. Yeah, we got one lane going each direction there, fuckhead. Figure it out. Hi, road rage. I'm back.
All right.
I'm in
Gotta love
LA. Fuck it,
California
whatever.
traffic.
I'm in LA.
He cut a pipe bomb on traffic. Yeah.
The windows are up, so they couldn't have heard me. But Lord, I'm in Inglewood still. I ain't about to show my white. I'm good.
Yeah, no.
I'm good. Like, nope, not today, Satan. I remember. Yeah, I forget. Dylan, was that 2017 or 2016?
One of the two.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know 2018 was the show I saw in Ontario. He's only gonna get it. He's being a complete asshole.
Yeah.
Like he's just determined to get himself in a wreck in a 2-lane situation. He is a fuckhead. Anyway, fucking sperm burp. No wonder you're in an accident. Anyway, sorry.
Damn it, Jeff.
Jesus.
Wow.
I don't care.
Wow.
We're 18 minutes. We're 19 minutes in. I don't care.
We have guests
When
on
I'm the
panel,
nice
bro.
one in the room.
Right?
What happened?
I said when I become the nice one in the room.
Yeah.
Yes. When DJ is the most even keeled, it's a long stream, kids.
They're already getting the gimmick for you, DJ. There you go.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'll always clip that when I'm on. Come on, Safet, you know better.
James, that's
But-
you,
yeah.
buddy.
Hey,
But
let me
yeah,
get the first highlight reel done first, and then we'll talk about clipping.
Yeah, I was say we need a 224 highlight reel first, there, Mansfield. Keep up with the gimmicks. Yeah, but Dylan hadn't been to a show since prior to pandemic, so this was really cool to have his first experience back be this Raw. And I checked with a few people around me. I think CM Punk's last Los Angeles actual match, because he didn't wrestle when he was here for Dynamite because of the injury, and then he stage dived, which made it worse. Genius. Was SummerSlam 2013 against was that the show he faced Brock? 2013? Yeah. So I wasn't inside the Staples Center, but I was in the area down the street. JJ, I believe, was in for that show. Were you there for that one, Jay?
No.
Okay. So Aaron was. So
10, 11, and 12.
That's right. So I will, and I was there for 2014. Anyway, but yeah, great show, great experience. I'm gonna try to stop rambling. Josh, if you're gonna ask me something, I'll go ahead and let you speak. Otherwise, I'm gonna bounce out of here.
I do have a question. Well, technically, it's a question for Dylan.
Okay.
Dylan, what'd you think of seeing Kofi tonight?
Who?
Kofi, his former favorite wrestler.
Oh yeah, what did you think of Kofi?
This is your first time seeing Kofi live since the dramatic heel turn.
Yeah, it's like kind of understood. I kind of get it.
He gets it. He understands.
Oh shit! He's the heel.
Exactly. Dylan is Team Kofi in this. Like Noah doesn't get it, and I'm like, bro. Big E is on the post-show panel right now, but he can't do anything further with the New Day to help the storyline along. Fuck out of here, Big E. You're the heel.
Freaking Kofi and Woodsy
Big E's the heel.
Freaking Kofi and Woodsy getting heat off Fluffy. That's a rough road to hoe. But he's a stand-up comedian. He will fuck with you back.
Hey, I also have a question for you, Jeff, and this is one related to Penta, and I think this is a legit question to ask. I know probably nobody knows the answer, including you on this, but is there a reason Penta wanted it in San Jose as opposed to here? Does he have more history in San Jose?
Not to my knowledge. I think it was him. I think the point is.
Re-row.
He's going in a tunnel.
Yeah, it's the LA area.
Well, maybe somebody else can.
Dead zone.
Yeah, he got cut off. He at least answered my question before then, so things not.
But yeah, Penta, to my knowledge, doesn't have any more history in San Jose. All of his stuff was based out here. Again, Lucha Underground was LA.
Okay.
The Republic of Lucha was LA.
AEW was
Pasadena, yeah. AEW was coming to the Forum all the time.
Yeah. So that's fair. Jeff, you cut out, by the way. Sorry, we weren't ignoring you.
That's a wonderful freeze frame of Jeff, though.
Right?
Just a wonderful freeze frame.
Yeah, someone clip that.
We need to make a meme out of that.
What's the meme? Making all we got is his freaking head. What are we?
No, just have the meme when you're expecting Penta to show up.
There he goes.
Oh,
Hi,
there
Jeff.
it is.
Testes. 1, 2, 3.
You are.
There you go.
Okay. What happened was, it's my knowledge there's not a whole lot of history with Penta in San Jose, but like I was trying to say before I went re-row, they already having the Women's Intercontinental title being awarded to the first champion. If they had that on this show, it's just like, oh yeah, and by the way, we have this.
Yeah.
So Hogan being here, however bad it was, Undertaker making the cameo, Rock being here, John being here, the WWE champion appearing and doing a run-in, Kevin Owens being here and doing a run-in. Stephanie in the crowd, like there was so much going on. And by the way, I'd like to acknowledge Will Friedle. Because WWE TV for his fuck did not.
They did, yeah, they did acknowledge him.
They fucking totally just put over Danielle Fishel at Topanga, but no love for Eric Matthews. That's some bullshit.
Not even Eric Matthews.
Oh, he said Eric Matthews. Okay.
Show Ron Stoppable appreciation. I want a Nako now.
No, you know what? That's valid too. But the bottom, Will got no love. He didn't even get a name graphic, and they botched X-Pac. It's like, dude, two native Angelinos, I think, because not native. They both live here now. But
did they botch X-Pac though? Because it's the first time he actually got showed twice, and it didn't get X-Pac key for it.
Well, that's valid. However. Sean's got past the point of X-Pac heat, and the fact is they didn't show the graphic the first time. They showed the graphic from the people next to him. Then, oh yeah, that's right, we gotta go back to X-Pac because we fucked up. So,
Yeah, true.
but yeah, Sean thankfully has passed the X-Pac heat portion of his career.
Yeah.
So
You just pass it off to Hogan, brother.
didn't need to pass that baton. He didn't need to pass the baton. They fucking threw it at him.
Yeah,
What?
Go ahead, Josh.
I said, here's the thing with Daniel Official versus Will Friedle. I was brought up on Girl Meets World, so
I'm sorry.
I know more of that than I do Boy Meets World.
All right, and on that note of Josh once again making my spine curve and my hair gray, I'm gonna bounce out of here. Y'all can handle his shit the rest of the night.
Without me making you do that.
That's fair.
All right, Jeff. Well, thank you for popping in for your thoughts here.
It is always a pleasure, and all I got to say is, I know GD's even more mad at me now for tomorrow night because we're gonna smell what he's cooking at the shrine too.
Yeah.
So have fun, boys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Later, Jeff.
He's the feed.
All right, guys.
Josh
So
Mansfield.
running things back here. Let's go back to the beginning of the show.
Yes.
Show kicked off with a great cold open. I had seen it floating around social media, but I didn't even watch it because I wanted to experience it in real time. Triple H knocked that out of the park, I think.
He did it live, by the way, I think.
No, that was already on the video.
Was it?
Yeah, they just came out of the video. The explosion dropped the curtain, and there he was in the rain.
I was gonna say that would have been amazing if he did that live.
Yeah, if he did that live, then he needs to be in more movies. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Live.
He needs to do more narration work. He might have found a new career.
But there was a lot of talk online this morning about, do you start the show with Triple H? Do you start the show with The Rock? And I think the way they did it was a good balance of both. I'm curious everybody else's thoughts here, because this is Triple H's era. I feel like he deserved to kind of welcome it in. But then for the very next person you see to be the final boss. And he wasn't even final boss. It wasn't The Rock that came out there. It was Dwayne Johnson, if we're being honest, because The Rock wouldn't have given Cody that love. The Rock wouldn't have given Cody that embrace. The Rock wouldn't have put over Roman Reigns. But Dwayne Johnson, the guy who sits on the board of TKO, that is something Dwayne would do. Go ahead,
Exactly.
Josh.
Flat out, that was a great way to go from a cold open to Triple H in the ring, which people are like, oh, Triple H has to steal the spotlight. He's the guy in charge of the damn company of WWE at this point, besides Nick Khan. So, yes, he's the face of creative and everything. So, yes, he should be out there. Great way to do it. He was not there long. Then you had Rock come in, and if people weren't paying attention at all to what Rock even did in that segment, yeah, he's not going to be at Mania if he's going over and giving Cody Rhodes a hug.
You're right.
Don't tell Virtue that. Don't.
I agree with that.
Big G.
DJ, what do you think?
I knew from the get-go when they announced the date that Triple H was going to open the show. Me and a certain wrestling reporter that I'm friends with kind of had a joke about it, and I knew I agree with you, JJ, to the point where they did it in a perfect balance, to where The Rock didn't take too much spotlight, Triple H didn't take too much spotlight. I was supremely disappointed with the promo The Rock came out and did, because he basically came out and said, "Hey, I'm The Rock. I'm here on Netflix. Bye." Didn't add to no storyline, didn't add to any context what he's doing, just made what he did 3 months ago, just coming out, putting up a 3, mean nothing. And not to give away too much from the match, but the way that ended put an extra cherry on the poop of this is how it's ending. I felt disappointed and underwhelmed with it a bit, but I thought Triple H's part was really well done, really great. If this was still Vince's WWE, that would be Vince would be coming out doing it. So it kind of fits the leader of the role coming out, giving the rah-rah speech, getting everyone hype and into this new Netflix era. And I thought Triple H's part was a good job. Rock's part was a little underwhelming because I was expecting more.
Fair dues.
I think everybody was expecting more because they were expecting The Rock. You know, and like I said, I feel like we got Dwayne Johnson here.
Yeah.
You know, I have a feeling that when he appears next, whenever that is, whether it's, and I'm not counting New Year's Evil because I'm sure that's going to be Dwayne Johnson supporting his daughter, but whenever he appears next, whether it's next week on Raw or the Rumble or Saturday night's main event, I think that's when we'll get The Rock back. But with this being such a huge moment for WWE, Netflix, TKO, I think he needed to wear his Dwayne Johnson hat tonight.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard trying to find that balance. You know, there's so many people that said that, you know, they didn't know where Terry Bollea ended and Hulk Hogan began. And I think Dwayne is trying to find that middle as to where Dwayne ends and The Rock begins. And I think we kind of found that tonight. At least that's my thoughts, DJ. I don't know if you have a rebuttal to that or.
No, I agree because I argue with my co-host about that all the time. He ever since The Rock came, even when The Rock came back as the final boss, he had that same feeling. He felt like it wasn't The Rock coming back; it was Dwayne Johnson coming back playing The Rock. And I agree, you kind of got a little bit more of that healthy medium tonight, but I don't think that's what the crowd and most of us wanted.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'll
You
say,
got something to say, Josh, before I turn it over to Big G?
yeah, if you remember, you know, you had the Raw after Mania, but then if you also had The Rock on Instagram right after that, the next day, giving Cody his props, basically saying, yeah, Cody, you're the man, take the ball, run with it. So if you watch that and remember that as part of the story, because The Rock did a lot of his stuff and his promos on his social media. So I think he was going from that. And again, I think this was also a sign of him showing, you know, he's not going to be at WrestleMania in a match. Or this would have been where he would have started that. You maybe had a little tease of way down the line with him and Roman, with him giving the Ula Fala to Roman, and everyone just like watching him and watching Heyman to see what the heck was going to happen. But they played it in a way that's like, okay, things are calm. No real reason for The Rock to be here after that. That's what I think they were trying to go with. Because of Moana reshoots, which he's contractually obligated to do, they have to temper that expectation. And I think they actually did a good job with that tonight.
Kind of quickly to rebut that, I agree with that concept, but I feel like if they did plan one with doing something with The Rock eventually down the line, they wouldn't have closed both of these loopholes so hard. They should have left at least one of them open. He showed he's on great terms with Cody, so obviously that's not going to be anything in the future. And with the Roman thing, yeah, it was lightly teased with him bringing out and putting the Ula Fala on Roman instead of putting it on himself. But I just feel like now both issues are done. They're done and over with for now. And I feel like there's no reason really to look forward to it now because The Rock's only getting older.
I mean, we also are saying this as if these Moana reshoots are not, you know, within the time period of now and the 27th. And that's when Roman's going to have his tribal chief celebration business go on. So there could be that aspect as well. So I'm not totally out of hope on that yet. I think because keep in mind, after what he did, you can't trust The Rock fully after that, can you?
Yeah, I was sitting here. You can ask Noah and Walter, who unfortunately Walter had something crazy from work come up. He had to dip. But I was sitting here on the commentary just waiting for Rocky to get Roman. You know, Roman kept turning his back to The Rock more than once, and I was just waiting. And it just didn't come. to James's point, January 27th could be a good day for it because that's when Roman said he was going to be back. And that's the Raw go home to the Rumble on February 1st.
Yeah.
Big G.
Oh, yeah. I thought the opening was pretty good with Triple H in the cold open, and like you said, hyping up the crowd, getting the crowd into it, and then The Rock coming out, or I should say Dwayne Johnson, because that wasn't The Rock. He gave his title to his two baby girls that were there. He gave Cody props. Hell, even on his Insta afterwards, he and Cody were drinking tequila. So it wasn't The Rock. It was Dwayne Johnson, playing his board of director role, being there to support Netflix and Raw and WWE, doing his thing that he's got to do. And, you still got the Royal Rumble. You still got, like you just said, Roman's coming back on January 27th to go home before the Rumble. So, overall, I thought it was a good opening / segment from one Hall of Famer and a potential WWE Hall of Famer down the line. So overall, I thought it was good.
James?
Yeah, I mean, I had those same feelings that everybody else did. I was disappointed, but I also kind of get it. I think I'm of two minds of it. My mindset is number one, and I still maintain this.
Mm-hmm.
I understand Hollywood's whole deal and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock's The Rock. Fuck your contractual obligations. Sorry. He's that big of a star. People should be getting favorable treatment. I think The Rock is more than earned his due in Hollywood. He deserves to be flexible with his schedule. That fucking simple there. My other mindset is I don't think The Rock wouldn't have raised a stink about it if these weren't going to get done within an appropriate amount of time, which is why I think they hyped up the 27th by just having Roman say what he said. I think there's a big part of that. So we'll see what happens. That might be the time they're going to try and do it. I think it's going to be odd because I really thought it was going to be Punk and Roman. And now I don't know where Punk goes. Punk might try to go for Gunther. They made the road to WrestleMania very unpredictable. I'm curious to see where they go. But but again, they did a good job at leaving you off cliffhangers to make you want to tune in the next week and the week after that and the week after that, which is why I'm like, yeah, all right. I'm going to wait and see what happens. I think people are jumping the gun to say that Rock isn't going to show up at Mania entirely. And again, I think if they try to have this delayed any further, I think The Rock needs to pull the fuck you card. It's like, dude, I'm The Rock. I'm showing up at Mania, whether you want me to or not. You could sue me after. I'll apologize later. I think he's going to pull that card eventually. I'm serious. Because, like, he's not getting any younger, and I think he realizes it's either now or never to have the match with Roman. If he does not have the match this year Mania, he may not have it at all. So that's my take on it.
Can I say one thing before you go to Ryan?
Please do, G.
I'm so happy that they didn't censor the "fuck you" Solo and "holy shit" chants. It was so nice to actually hear it.
Yes.
I just wanted to throw that out. I was just so freaking happy.
Yeah. FCC.
I was waiting for "fuck you" Hogan chants.
Oh my god. I was too.
It's all about the freaking FCC.
Oh, and Travis Scott smoking a joint on.
That was not.
Oh my god! I was in tears when I saw that. I was like, "Is he smoking a fucking blunt on TV right now?"
Yes, he is.
And I'm sitting here. I'm like, and the entire time during the entrance, I'm like, "Please pass it to Jey Uso. Please pass it to Jey Uso. Please pass it to Jey Uso."
You know he wanted to take a hit. You know he wanted to.
I'll be honest. Maybe it's just because I wasn't paying full attention because I was watching, our coverage of the Watch Long 2, trying to look at the screen and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I didn't see that it was an actual blunt. I just assumed he was taking a hit off of a vape or something.
So did I at first.
It might have been a vape.
No, it was
has
joint.
THC.
Because I wouldn't imagine them allowing him to have a blunt
I
like
think it was
that
a vape.
on television. Like, still.
Dude, that was.
If you think, if I think about it now, you might be right, JJ. It was a vape because it was kind of like metal looking. It didn't.
Hey,
look
listen,
like
it's better. It's better than what It's better than what Sinister Minister did. Anyway,
This is true. Ryan, go ahead and bring us home on the intro here.
The video, I did not watch it all day. I didn't even know it was posted. Did not watch. Can say for certain, it was beautiful to see that the WWE finally acknowledging the fact that professional wrestling existed before 3 letters.
yeah.
VKN. As far as is it Dwayne? Is it The Rock? You're both wrong. It was the High Chief Sayuli.
Yep.
The first time since February 8th, 2024, in WWE canon, the name High Chief Sayuli has been mentioned on WWE broadcast. The story ain't over yet.
Yeah.
So
Preach.
that's it. Like, we are just beginning the road to WrestleMania. And while some roads have been paved for a long time, there's a lot of things going on tonight. So, I don't know, for something that wasn't supposed to happen this year, they kept showing The Rock over Roman's shoulder multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It really seems like that's not done yet. I expected the kick to happen, or the rock bottom to happen, or literally any number of things, but they kept you waiting in suspense. You don't blow your load all at once.
Amen.
I think you're right, Ryan. And I think that when they do get to this match between Roman and Rock, it will be a match with double stakes for the Uza Fama and for the High Chief title.
Could be.
I don't
think
know
we'll
if
have
The
to
Rock
go-
can give that away because that was bestowed upon him.
JJ,
Yeah.
you know what he
So
can't
he
give away though?
Bestows it on Roman.
JJ, you know what he can't give away though?
What?
That belt, the Muhammad Ali's wife gave
Yeah,
to
yeah,
him.
yeah. I was. You read my mind. Jay. I was just about to say.
It
Give that away.
doesn't matter
Brought
what
out
The
with
Rock
them.
can give away.
Yeah.
I was waiting for someone to say
I got
that.
the joke. That's funny.
It's the first time in canon that the name High Chief Sayuli has been mentioned. And if it wasn't going to continue the feud, they would not have mentioned it.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. And
So,
that's part
This-
of why I think they didn't go further tonight was because they were trying to plant that seed.
Yep.
The Rock versus Roman has been the match for 4 years. Scheduling conflicts arise. Now, he is a superstar. He is a movie star. He is the highest paid Hollywood movie star. There's a lot of money behind The Rock's brand. They'll get to the match when they want to, when they damn well feel like it. And beyond that, like, there was a brief period in the show where the audio cut, and I don't know what was said. But they didn't edit. Fuck you, Solo.
Yes.
It's a good night.
It was great.
Indeed.
That's my thoughts on The Rock, Dwayne, and Sayuli.
Fair enough. So we went from that into tribal combat to start things off. And that was a hell of a match to kick things off, I think. I thought it was cool the way they had Roman start the show. A lot of people thought Roman is the main event, but the point I kept bringing up on the watch long is why would you have the SmackDown match main event the Raw premiere.
Yeah.
That does nothing for any of the Raw talent. I don't care if Roman has it in his contract or whatever. There's no development on Raw. Why would you have the premiere of Raw main event be two guys from SmackDown?
Yeah.
The counterpoint to that,
Okay.
Roman apparently is a Raw guy now. So
I was just
Fair,
gonna
but
add
I
that,
don't think
Ryan.
they've established that.
He's technically a free agent, so he can go wherever he wants to.
It's technically the superstar. What is it? I forgot what the stupid name they came up for. The trade thing that they're
Let's just
doing.
call it the Superstar Shakeup.
There we go.
Trade window or whatever. Yeah.
SmackDown portal or whatever gimmick.
Yeah.
SmackDown
But let's be fair here. If they're going to trade Roman to Raw, they need like 10 guys in return.
Right.
SmackDown can't fit 10 guys. So, I don't know.
But yeah, I don't think they've established the fact that Roman is a free agent, is a Raw guy now. Netflix wants him on Raw. We know that, but the casuals, to go back to your arguments from earlier, don't know that.
Yeah.
So why are they going to have these guys that have been building their rivalry on the other show main event the premiere of Raw?
Well, real quick, JJ, to kind of add to that, a lot of people who left Raw, say during that big giant period where people were leaving, there wasn't a brand split. They weren't doing a brand split. There wasn't SmackDown and Raw anymore. Everything was one giant roster. So to most people who are coming back who've been gone for a while, they're probably still thinking it's one giant roster. They're not thinking there's a brand split.
Isn't it always one giant roster, though?
Yeah, that's true.
If you talk to our friend Noah, then it is, because he's always saying brand split, LOL.
The only brand split that will work is if they genuinely treat Raw and SmackDown as entirely separate entities, and they won't.
No. It's too big
the
of a
same
brand.
flavor of television product. You could have one be PG and the other be 14 and offer entirely different flavors. But no, it's too bad of an image on the brand, evidently.
Yeah, they're still family friendly. So
So what was everybody's thoughts on the tribal combat?
I guess I'll start. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. You know, your typical no DQ match, no holds barred, just a different name, tribal combat. You know, I figured Tamatanga and Jacob would interfere, and then Sammy and Jimmy would interfere and do their thing. I wasn't expecting KO or Cody to show up in that match whatsoever, but I guess technically KO still has beef with Roman.
Yep.
So, you know, and then Cody has beef with KO, so that panned that out. That played out. And yeah, Roman Reigns winning was the right choice. You know, Solo's come a long way since NXT. You know, he's grown a lot, but he's just not there. You know, and I'm sure we're gonna get some kind of. I thought like the War Games match was the big blow off, but I feel like there's still some coming with Solo being in the storyline with the Bloodline and Roman and Solo. So, but good match overall to open up Monday Night Raw. You know, get the casuals their eyes on Roman Reigns, and we'll see what happens on January 27th when the OTC comes back, you know, and it looks like he'll be the cover of 2K 2025 come next year as well. So good on Roman. And those one more thing, those Nikes that he was wearing were fucking sick as hell.
You stole my thought, G. I was gonna say that first.
Go ahead, DJ, because I saw your comment in the private chat. So go ahead and.
So I thought this was a really good opening match to start the new era. I think one thing I came out of this match is a lot of people need to start talking about how good Roman Reigns is at being a babyface. At selling as a babyface, as doing all the little babyface things as you should. It's like with him watching a bigger, more beautiful version of Ricky Morton in his prime in terms of selling as a babyface. He gets all the little things, and I love watching Roman work as a babyface. He helped get Solo over as a dominant badass. It took a lot for them to. They literally just beat the hell out of each other. I thought it was a normal Roman match minus the usual ref bump. But I thought this was a great match. I didn't see Roman losing this because this is his first match on Raw since 2019, 2018.
Yeah.
It's his first singles match since Cody. There was no way he was going to lose here. I was more interested in seeing how Solo would look in the loss, and Solo still looks pretty strong to me. I think the new path for Solo for now is probably mid-card championship, United States title or something. Get a run with that, and then maybe start a him and Jacob feud over that.
That would be interesting, actually.
I hate you so.
That would be awesome. Jacob Fatu and Solo would tear the roof off the joint, actually.
And it would also add like the necessary like heat mix up to the mid-card picture that the mid-card definitely needs right now, especially on SmackDown. Like if you have names like LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, Solo, and all them in that picture, that adds a lot of name power to what LA Knight was lacking beforehand in terms of not having enough heels to work with while being that top mid-card babyface.
Yeah. And by the way, now you know why I want a DJ on our shows going forward, because I would have never made that comparison to Ricky Morton, and it makes total sense.
I watch a lot of old school wrestling. Like in my spare time, I'll sit here and watch Mid-South or some of the old Crockett tapes, just, because I like watching old school wrestling because a lot of the old school shit does still apply to modern wrestling.
I agree.
It's just a lot of modern wrestlers don't want to use the old school shit because they think it's out of touch. No, if it worked for 60, 70 years before that.
Yeah.
If it worked then, it will work now. I promise you. People are just easily manipulable the same way, if not even worse now. You can manipulate people even easier now.
How Raw proved that tonight in a way,
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Before I pass it on, DJ, is there anything else that you wanted to say? Because I saw again that your battery was about to die out.
Yeah. So the only other thing I wanted to try to get out before my thing died was I was really the live match. I believe over delivered. I think it was a really good match, and it ended perfectly the way it needed to. And everybody's now interested in what's next for Rhea. And with all the Becky talk coming around and everyone's saying Becky's coming back, I think that might be the direction for Rhea for Mania.
I do kind of wish that whoever it was going to be had made their presence felt after that match.
Yeah.
Like we kind of alluded to in the very early goings of the post show, like everybody that showed up, we were kind of expecting to show up. And even though we had heard grumblings about a Becky or a Charlotte or something like that, like I think having them come back after that match to kind of set up, making their intentions known, even if they got to get through the Rumble to get to Rhea, I think it would have been a good little seed to plant.
Yeah,
I figure Rhea defeated Charlotte for the title at Mania, so if Charlotte had made her return, that would have been like a full circle moment here. Like I'm back to take what was mine.
I'm honestly down to see that rematch.
Anyway. I didn't even think of Charlotte. Like I'm now I want Charlotte and Rhea 3 at Mania. I didn't even think of that because I'm so in my mind Charlotte's not even Charlotte is coming back for Rumble. I know that's going to be like a Rumble surprise. I don't think she'll come back sooner, only for the fact that you want to try to capitalize off of a Charlotte return as much as possible because she's not going to get any more over after that.
Ryan, you said you wanted to add something to DJ's point earlier as well. I don't want to completely ignore you.
Oh, yeah, no, go ahead.
Sometimes the classics just work. Meltzer classics don't get over with the general populace.
Preach.
Yep. So Also, real quick, DJ, you gotta be the one to fucking talk bad about Hogan. I mean, we can't let you leave.
Oh yeah,
without
yeah.
saying
Oh,
something bad about
listen. I
what
had
he
a
did tonight.
LA gave me a hard on when I heard those boos. Okay, I was so happy. I wanted to be. I literally almost packed up my shit tonight to move to LA because I felt like I'm not needed here anymore. I'm needed in LA. Those are my people. Okay, those are my people. Nothing gave me more gratification. I listen. I enjoyed seeing Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart popped me. I was like, hey, look, it's Jimmy. And then this was the best part of the whole segment. The pop for Hogan when they heard this music, I'm like, oh damn, everyone's cheering for Hogan. Here comes this motherfucker. Then as soon as they turn off the music, you hear the cacophony, the epiphany, the symphony of boos, and you just see a Grinch-like smile go on my face. I just look like Jim Carrey in 2000, just smiling at my fiance / girlfriend, and she's just looking at me. She's like, "Why are you so happy?" I'm like, "They're booing a racist out the building."
Amen to that one. Amen to that one, as they should.
And I'll leave it on that. I hope you guys have a good night. Enjoy this wrestling talk. I hope you guys enjoy NXT New Year's Evil tomorrow. I hope Obafemi finally gets crowned, and also come and check out Rock and Ropes this week. It's going to be an interesting week.
Yes.
Yes. When are you going to be live again?
We do them Fridays and Sundays. Sundays usually our big episode. Fridays is just, talking to everyone, talking about the week in wrestling, catching up on stuff we missed, stuff like that. It's usually a fun time and great conversation.
Real quick before you leave, also just wanted to let you know, DJ, before I forget to tell you, Phil Marks is doing his spaces on his Twitter. Just figured I'd let you know. So
okay, when?
I think right after NXT, so we might want to pop in there.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll definitely pop in.
All right, cool beans.
I will do my best to pop in either Friday or Sunday, DJ, and you are definitely welcome on Saturday back to the shenanigans once again.
Oh, I'll definitely be there. I'll be baby free and girlfriend free, so I'll definitely.
Hopefully, your phone will be charged,
and my phone will definitely be charged.
Get yourself a long ass phone charger, my guy. We go long on these.
I hope all you guys have a good night.
All right,
you too, man. Take it easy.
And
then there were 4.
Yes.
There you go.
Go ahead, Ryan. What are your thoughts about Tribal Combat?
I dislike the fact that WWE still doesn't acknowledge their own rules for the match.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
It was in canon, continuity stated many moons ago in the first Tribal Combat match that you would automatically lose if someone interfered on your behalf. Now, this wasn't mentioned this time, but that is a gripe nonetheless. The match itself, slow, methodical. Solo got heat. But I'm glad to see this chapter come to a close. It was getting old really fast, seeing Solo in a position he's not ready for. I said it. Be featured like this. He's not ready for the main event. He's not a finished product yet. He needed time. They took him out of NXT too soon. Right? Without the Ulafala around his neck, and soon to be without his Timu bloodline, with the exception of Jacob Fatu. Because I'm getting ahead of myself on that one. Obviously, there are ramifications for losing. The same thing that he said after WrestleMania last year. The turn's coming. But the match itself, I liked overall, though. It was very violent in some aspects and very status quo at the same time. We got the really nice, good look at the new announce table.
Right.
I don't see how anyone's ever going to go through this thing. I'm sure it has something that breaks away underneath. All I know is on this one, I'm kind of bummed out as well because I wanted that turn to come tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know they still have something in the tank there because it's the subtle.
Yep.
It's the subtle things. They're Easter eggs scattered throughout. And if you can find them, you can figure out where the storyline's going, right?
Yep.
But it's going to be a rough year for Solo without Roman to hold him up. So,
I'm slowly starting to wonder, and I think I said this when Undertaker was getting close to his last ride. But I'm starting to wonder if The Rock's last hurrah is going to be Survivor Series next year. 30 years to the event after he debuted.
Yeah.
Because he debuted at Survivor Series 96.
Yep.
So for his final hurrah to be Survivor Series 2026, this is WWE, merchandising, 30 years of The Rock.
Yep.
the thing I don't like about the word retirement is that no one's ever really retired. And The Rock is getting up there in age. But Sting proved that you can go at 60, 64. There are, especially keep yourself healthy. The Rock's the fittest, most healthy guy we know, right? As far as WWE legends is concerned, look at any other WWE legend, The Rock's age, and look at The Rock. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be a retirement at Survivor Series next year. It would be a really cool. They're going to do it anyways, but I just don't know about retirement. I feel like The Rock has a few more years in the tank. Especially if he's only working one match every couple of years or so. Or every couple, 1 to 2 matches every couple of years. I think there's some mileage we can get out of it.
But I think after we get Rock and Roman, I don't think there's anything anyone really wants to see.
Yeah.
We want Rock and Cody, we want Rock and Roman. Once we get those 2 matches, then what?
That's it.
There's nothing we need.
Hunter can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
So
it's like, if we get, hypothetically speaking, if we get Rock Roman this year at Mania, and then we get Rock Cody next year at Mania, what do we need come the Mania after that?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
So that's why I could see, maybe trotting him out for one more like Survivor Series just because of the historic nature of it. Whether you do an old-fashioned traditional Survivor Series match like the match he debuted in, or you throw him in War Games, a match that he's never participated in for his final Survivor Series. Either way, you get that final moment at Survivor Series, and especially if you book it at the Garden, where he made his debut. Now, granted, the Garden's a little bit small for a Survivor Series PLE these days, but somewhere else in New York, the new Yankee Stadium or something.
No, that's a
Nice venue.
That would be a great venue. Has WWE ever run Yankee Stadium ever?
I don't think so.
That would be a first.
Maybe back in the days.
Dude, I would love to see that in the Yankee Stadium. Although, being the Bostonian, I mean, come to fucking Fenway. God damn it.
Hey, but the Bostonian in you, I'm sure, would like to go to the Garden on March 10th.
Well, if I wasn't broke as shit, listen. As for aesthetic reasons, I would still be happy if they came to Fenway. It's specifically. TD
But
Garden,
isn't
they've
Fenway
always
more run down?
Yeah, yes, but how many fucking listen? They held WrestleMania 24 and 33 at that rundown goddamn Orange Bowl. Okay, if they can run there, they can run at fucking Fenway. All right, and Fenway's an upgrade.
That's fair. James, go ahead and give your thoughts on Tribal Combat, and we'll move on.
I thought it was great. I'm a solo mark. I'm the odd man out of that. I think he's done a bang up job. I think people give him way too much shit. I think it's more a lack of them telling and explaining to the audience that he's the Don of this bloodline, not necessarily the Savage, but the one calling the shots for the Savages, the one that's kind of keeping them on the leash. I think there is a lot of intrigue there, and I think once that leash breaks because he had lost the Ulafala now, you know, that match between him and Jacob is going to be a barn burner, and I think that's really where Solo's going to shine. If Bronson Reed gets healed enough, don't be surprised if it becomes a triple threat. That would be a hell of a triple threat. That's something I would love to see. But, yeah, man, like, to me, he's the one that's kind of controlling the Savages. He's the one controlling Jacob and the Tongans and Bronson. And I think he's really good at that role. I think in the beginning, he tried to be serious guy way too often instead of being his natural self. Lately, he's kind of showed his natural personality a lot more, so I'm happy about that. He showed it a lot tonight. I love the story beats in the match. Not a lot of people clocked tonight that Solo kind of punched his ticket to join back with the OG bloodline due to the fact that he said, I loved you. I gave you everything. I gave you everything I ever had, but you still didn't love me back. And that right there is what gave him the big one. I think that's what gave him back in. So, and then there were 3, by the way. So, yeah, I think they did a great job. I thought the match was good for what it was. I thought the run-ins were perfect because I was not expecting Kevin Owens and Cody to come in. I was expecting the Bloodline to have some interference. And overall, I think it was perfect. I think the Bloodline War Games led perfectly into the finish here, and Solo's plan completely backfired. It was great. So, no complaints. I thought they ended that part of the story with the Bloodline beautifully.
From there, we got John Cena, the first stop on his retirement tour. You know, I felt like this was a good segment for John.
Yeah.
I felt like he got across what he needed to get across. I felt like he acknowledged the fact that he wants number 17, but he doesn't feel like he deserves number 17. You know, especially after going whatever it was, 2,400 and something days without a victory. But then reminding fans that there's money in the bank, there's the Elimination Chamber, there's the Rumble where he can get those opportunities. And I posed this to Noah because I knew he wasn't going to be here. What if number 17 doesn't come from a WWE championship? But what if number 17 is him capturing the TNA championship with this partnership they've been having?
I don't like it.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, Chief. I can't see it. I don't mind it. It would be cool for TNA to do that. But my issue with that is it's not as prestigious as it once was.
That would
Go ahead. Go ahead, Brian.
That would require WWE to finally start acknowledging outside professional wrestling world titles, and with the exception of the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, They haven't really.
Eh,
Now,
NWA
Mickey James has came out and Jordan Grace has came out with TNA Women's Championships. You haven't seen another men's title as far as I'm aware. I don't watch NXT. So, at least not enough. I know Obafemi, and that's really about it right now. Trick Williams as well. I stopped caring about that aspect of the product. I just don't know how I feel about it with TNA. The TNA title, the TNA world title, isn't a world title, in my opinion. The world title is defended on all continents, and TNA don't really go outside of the U.S. or Canada anymore.
Yeah, really. I mean, yeah, pretty much. The other issue why I have an issue with Cena having it be the TNA title is if it was, say, 2010, it would have been a bigger deal. Nowadays, not so much. I really think his best bet, dethrone Gunther. I think Gunther's already a made man already. I think he can afford the loss. I think it makes the most goddamn sense for Cena to dethrone Gunther because Super Cena would be the type of guy to do it. And I feel like the story absolutely now calls for it. I think him and Gunther is the dream match. I've been saying it from day one. That's the program. That whether they do it at Survivor Series to end his career and he retires as the champion, or he wins the belt and actually defends it on a few shows at SummerSlam. Either way, Cena is going to get that championship. And I notice I mentioned SummerSlam because you'll notice he did not mention the Intercontinental title once in his speech tonight. Not one time did he mention it. So he's gunning for 17. I think he dethrones Gunther. I think he has one more reign in him. And then I think Gunther is going to retire him to get his win back. Because, again, Gunther can afford a loss, and then Cena can afford the loss later. You have a situation, a very rare situation, where you can have 50-50 booking, and it would make sense. Make it happen. I think that's it. Now, as far as TNA goes, if you really wanted to do it, the only way I would say give John Cena the TNA World title is have title for title. John Cena gets both championships against AJ Styles. That's the only way I see it happening. Styles has to win the belt in order for it to happen. Otherwise, I just don't see him winning the TNA title ever. There's just no way that's happening.
It was just a random thought I had because of the partnership and
It was a
everything
fun
that's been going on, you know. I don't want him to dethrone Gunther. I feel if he does it, he beats Cody. And that's what sends Cody full Homelander.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's fair enough. My only issue with that is I think Cody has enough of a reason to go full Homelander that Cena being the reason, I feel like that kind of cheapens it. I don't think he needs it.
He may, but it would be the proverbial straw to break the camel's back.
Sure, but
unless he beats Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship, there's no storyline connection. He helped him win the WWE Championship. Of course, that kind of marries them together to a certain degree. I just don't think Cody Rhodes should be involved in Cena's retirement tour unless it's the final match. So,
yeah.
That's a good way to get it. Like if he takes the world title from Gunther, right, and carries the world heavyweight title, because we are expecting 30, 45 dates in that ballpark. That's enough to give us not only a retirement tour, but a tour with the last year of Super Cena, the last year of John Cena, period. And if this is truly his last year, that's the only way you really fire it off. Give us the full year. Give us the full package. There's a generation of kids who haven't watched John Cena wrestle. realistically speaking.
There's also a generation of kids that are still watching that got tired of Super Cena. Like Emmanuel in the chat here, who took the John Cena segment for him to go and eat his dinner and not even pay attention.
Hey, it's a him problem. It's a him problem.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You know,
did you hear
Cena
that?
being
crowd
on top?
tonight? That's a him problem.
Cena being on top for as long as he was is part of why I stopped watching for almost a decade.
I get
it. He's got 36 dates, supposedly 35 after tonight. There's 52 weeks in a year. That's 16 weeks where he doesn't do something. But on average, we can get him on one show per week with only a couple of months with no appearance.
Yeah.
So I get where you're coming from about the full-blown Super Cena run. But at the same time, I don't want him to get 17 unless it's in his final match.
I don't like the idea of the World Heavyweight title being... because it would be the World Heavyweight title more than likely. I don't like the idea of the title changing hands and then immediately being vacated. Unless this is a big Mark Henry swerve, which it probably ain't. I don't like that.
I think, and I'm going to be honest, most fans tonight do not give a shit what happened in 2007. They do not give a shit what happened in 2012. They don't even give a shit about what happened in 2016. I'm going to be honest. I think you capitalize on while the iron is hot. And here's my other reason I argue it has to be SummerSlam. You cannot wait until Survivor Series. Because Gunther will look like a chump if you just have Cena beat him there. I think you have to have him retire Cena. I think he is the final person to get rid of Cena. You know, he gives him his props or whatever after the fact, but he's the one to beat him. He's the one to retire him. He's the one to dethrone Super Cena from his throne, and then he waves goodbye. I think that's how you do it. If anything, I could see it happening more with Braun Breaker taking a loss in Cena's final match for the IC title to complete the Grand Slam at the end. That Braun can afford because we know the guy's going to be a superstar anyway. Plus, if he loses to Cena in Cena's final match for the IC title and he has nothing to show for that, Gunther can make fun of him, and then bam, there's your program, Braun Breaker, Gunther. So it's actually going to be a win-win for all three guys if you really break it down.
I think Braun has more to gain from beating John Cena than Gunther does. Gunther's been doing this a while already. He's been presented as an established threat the entire time. His Intercontinental title run into this monstrous World Heavyweight title run, it's shades of Umaga, kind of.
Yeah.
And John Cena's the perfect foil for that. It sucks that it happens. It's going to come at Gunther losing the title, but that's the foil.
But that's the thing. I people are being like, I don't want to see him lose, but it's like, that dude's a made Hall of Famer, and he's not even, like 7 years into this? Who cares?
I remember reading something not so long ago that Netflix really vibed with Braun Breaker. And he's your star. He's the next guy.
Right.
And you have a lot of guys who have been doing this for a while who are now entering that part-timer phase, the Seth Rollinses, the Roman Reigns. We now need to make the next generation. Gunther's not even wrestling every week.
True.
So, I feel like Braun Breaker's the guy who beats Cena at the end of this. And if he beats him for the title, all the more sweeter because someone worthy has to be the guy to coronate the next generation. And Cena, they've been trying to get him to do that for years, and it's failed every time. It will work with Braun.
My argument to that logic is, again, you can do it that way. In most instances, I would agree, and especially with how Cena's run in his entire career would go. But I think Gunther is going to be that guy to get Braun over anyway. So if you have Gunther beat Cena, and then Cena's not done and he still has a couple more months left or something, and then Braun loses to Cena, you could even incorporate the storyline that's because of Gunther, right? And then Gunther makes fun of him, and then Braun Breaker's like, fuck you, dude. I'm going to beat the shit out of you, and then you have a serious contender with Braun beating Gunther for the title. And then that can make him a freaking world beater for the world title division. You can put him over that way, too.
That road is already paved because Braun Breaker is one of the few people who has legitimately pinned Gunther.
True.
So
I'm just saying you could easily do that and, kind of remind people of that and then have them,
professional wrestling fans have memories of Goldfish, so they might need a reminder, I guess.
Right. But that's why I'm saying, like, you could easily do what I recommend, because if you have Cena beat Braun Breaker because of Gunther costing him that match, and that's how Cena completes the Grand Slam and goes out on top, there's your feud right there. And a lot of people that are Cena fans are now going to pay attention to, oh, wow, this guy's awesome. Oh, this guy cost him? I'm going to tune in to see that program. And thus, Cena put over two guys on his way out that way. Remember,
it's going to be a fun year.
That's what I'm saying. What was Cena's whole thing with the U.S. title open challenge? He put over talent, and he didn't even need to lose. And he did it masterfully. Cena's done it before. He could easily do it again.
Fair.
Just saying.
From there, we go to our Women's World Championship match, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, and one of my favorite parts of the night.
I'm sure it was, JJ.
Well, it didn't just make me happy. I know it made Natalie happy as well. My daughter, as she is a huge Rhea Ripley fan.
I think
my dad may be a little bit sad. He does like Liv, but
yeah.
I thought this was a hell of a match. Probably one of the best I've ever seen out of Liv, if I'm giving the devil her due.
Yep.
But flip side of that coin can be said that Rhea carried her to a good match. So,
That's also fair.
But it was good. I think it accomplished what needed to be accomplished. And I think the reason they got rid of the last woman standing is because you already had tribal combat. That was going to be a violent, no holds barred, anything goes type of match. Didn't want to have two of the same match on the same card.
That's my biggest pet peeve in professional wrestling. You got to balance your show.
I mean, personally, I think I would have rather seen the last woman standing match, because that means I would have watched Liv get decapitated. But that's just a personal favor, favoritism right there.
Come on now.
As far as the Liv Rhea match is concerned, it played out pretty well. The wrestling was not what I cared for too much. I'm not a huge fan of Liv or Rhea. But the storyline dynamic, we can finally move past this and move on to the next thing, because the women's world title has been held hostage by this Judgment Day storyline for so long. We can now finally move on.
Technically, ever since Rhea beat Charlotte.
And I thought this was the point in time where we would hear Becky's music hit. And sadly, that wasn't the case. I ain't a big Becky fan, but I was excited to see her. It's been a while. But I think there's a lot of speculation. Realistically, she's in promotional material.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of people who are in WWE promotional material that aren't really there. So, I don't know. I think a lot of people got ahead of themselves at that point. Raising a kid takes a lot of time. But Becky hasn't retired officially. The only person who ever said they retired Becky Lynch was Liv Morgan. Becky never said she was retired. So there's that. But we get to move on to the Women's Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. I'm sure they'll find something exciting to fill this space.
Yeah, definitely. Much like you said you were waiting for Becky's music to hit, despite not being a Becky fan. I mentioned it earlier. I was waiting for Charlotte's music to hit. And James will tell you, as much as I talk shit about Liv Morgan, I talk even more about Charlotte Flair. I can't stand Charlotte.
Charlotte is the only member of the Four Horsewomen who I truly love. She is a full package. You can call it nepotism, fine. But she's got all the talent to back it up.
Yeah, I will not take anything away from Charlotte's abilities. My whole beef with her, and I'll go ahead and restate this for our fans because you've never actually heard me say it.
Okay.
My whole beef with Charlotte is I feel that the push that Charlotte Flair got should have been the push they gave Natalya. Natalya's been in the company 18 years, has 2 championships to her name.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment.
Charlotte has been in the company for less than 10 years and has got 16 championships like her dad. 14 if you don't count the NXT.
They only count that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when they stop counting it, it stops being a world title.
Yeah. True fans still counted at 16. WWE, last I checked, was counting her at 14. In any event, that's 12 to 14 championships more than Natalya has in half the time.
Yeah.
Therein lies my problem.
I wanted Natalya to be the first of either the Intercontinental or the U.S. title histories.
Yep.
It's a name that it's important. With no disrespect to Chelsea Green. And
I think it's more important for her to be IC than US because the IC is more connected to her family. Yes, Brett was a US champion, but Brett, Owen, and Davey were all IC champions.
Yeah, that would make the most sense. Yep.
So her to be the first women's IC champ, absolutely. I think she got screwed when Io got put in the tournament, and now Io's not even in the finals. So what was the point?
Yeah.
Because it's Dakota and Lyra. There's no reason that match couldn't have been Natalya versus Lyra if they weren't going to put Io over.
Yeah, it's a real shame because Natalya and Charlotte and their match at NXT, I go out of your way to watch that because their match at NXT, I think it was the first ever takeover show, was fucking excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do feel like Natalya should have been rewarded as well as the other 4 horsewomen. I think Vince had such a, this is wrong turn of phrase, but you get my, in this case, it's metaphorical, hard on for the 4 horsewomen because of just the marketing of it, I guess you could say. But for me, it should have been Natalya and it should have been Charlotte as your 1A, 1B. I think easily. I think, all the titles Sasha won. I think she should have only won 2 of them. I think the other reigns that that Sasha had should have gone to Natalia, because I think that would have been a banging feud on the main roster, and I'm really pissed they didn't capitalize on it, because Triple H sure did in NXT. So.
And let's also think about this, gentlemen, if we really want to go back into our history. Who did Bret Hart beat to win his first WWF championship?
Ric Flair?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, again, you want to be, traditionalist. You want to go to the history books. You want to make those historic references for the nerds like us. It's right there.
Yep.
But that's why I have a problem with Charlotte. I take nothing away from her ability. She's a damn good wrestler. She is the total package. I just can't stand that she has more accolades than Natalia.
Yeah.
I've been a huge Natalia fan ever since I saw her on DVD for, I think it was Base Brawl 3 was the first time I ever saw her, was DVD trading. I have a Natty by Nature shirt over here that's done in the style of the Naughty by Nature logo with a hockey stick instead of the baseball bat, because she has very little merchandise the WWE's ever put out of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She actually follows me on the Twitter X from way back in the day when I went to one of the SummerSlam accesses, because my daughter's name is Natalie, named after Natalia. So, but I was waiting for Charlotte to come out because, again, I felt like it would have been a full circle moment. Rhea defeated Charlotte for the women's title, had her massive run, lost the title without losing the title, just got it back in her grasp, and what's around the corner? WrestleMania. Here's Charlotte, the queen, to come and get her comeback.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready for that rematch, because that match last time was so fucking good. Oh my God, it was so good.
And Becky, what we won't get too deep into it here, but since you mentioned her, I thought was going to get involved in the main event. Mm-hmm. After the way the jabs got so personal last week on the Go Home show to this, I saw Becky getting involved in the main event.
Yeah.
And that could have been how she got brought back. Wasn't necessarily as Becky Lynch tonight, but as Rebecca Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
She came back as the woman behind the man to help defend her husband.
Ha ha ha. Pronouns, pal.
Exactly, right? But again, this was a damn good match. I am a little sad it was the only women's match on the show.
Yeah, I am too.
Because WWE has been really good with that lately. I don't know if you've noticed, we're like, one week will be very woman heavy, and then the next week will be woman light. I think they need to balance that. I see it all the time in NXT. There'll be weeks where there'll be 3 women's matches in NXT, and then the next week there'll be just one.
Yeah, I feel like you just need to half and half it, or at the very least, if you're going to do that, 3 matches one week for the women, 1 match the next week. Then there's half and half for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I get to the equality versus equity thing. The equity of TV time is more important than the equality of TV time.
Agreed, and I get that.
And tonight was full of a lot of things that didn't necessarily need to be there, but you are trying to get the nostalgia pops from everyone involved.
Mm-hmm. And to Emmanuel's point here, I haven't been highlighting and referring to too many of the comments unless super chats, but casual fans may not know or care about Natalia, but they recognize the name Hart.
Mm-hmm.
They play up the Neidhart part on the commentary. They recognize that going back to Bret Hart and Owen Hart and Jim the Anvil, her dad. So casual fans be like, oh, wait a minute, she's connected to the Hart family? Okay, I know who they are.
with respect, the Hart family has become very obscure now. And with the exception of Bret Hart, who becomes very negatively impactful in the news based on his whatever recent tirade he's gone on. I think the Hart brand has lost a lot of value over the last few decades.
That's fair. I can see how that would be, especially with Brett's comments about Goldberg. Which, whether
Don't get
you
me
like
started
or you
on that, by the
don't
way.
like,
I could do a whole show on that.
let's not go there. Just, I was going to say, whether you like or you dislike Goldberg is irrelevant at the point.
Yeah.
Every time he opens his mouth about him, it's negative, negative, negative.
Kiss and make up already.
And you
Jesus
can tell
Christ.
that Bill has tried to move on from this,
Yes.
and Brett just won't let it go.
The man's made him $16 million.
Right? But then at the end of the match, we saw The Undertaker, the American Badass, come out on his bike and give the seal of approval to Mommy. That was awesome. I had seen the videos circulating around No DQ of The Undertaker kind of backing his bike up, and so I kind of knew he was going to be there. Didn't know where they were going to work him in, but I like the way they did it here, especially with how people called Damian Priest. You know, was it like the emo Undertaker, or like
Bisexual Undertaker.
Yeah, bisexual Undertaker. There we go. Like the Terror Twin, and you got the real Undertaker coming out for the Terror Twin. Like, I got the haha there.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering where they were going to fit in Taker. I did see the report.
I had to mute my microphone for that because I needed to holler for one of the kids. She's a huge Undertaker fan. Like, she doesn't even watch the product on a regular with me, but she loves the Undertaker. So I had to mute and call for her real quick so that she could come out and see it.
There you go. What were you going to say? You have a report, Ryan?
No, I read the report of Taker being there, or at least a Harley Davidson was on set.
Of course.
And I'm like, okay, well, there's Taker's spot, but didn't think where it would make sense to put him in the show.
Yeah.
Well, if Rhea's just going to run the division like she's the Undertaker, well, who better? You know.
Well, don't say who better, because Cage will tell you who better than him.
Let's see here. Then we had Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, that.
I'm not sure how I feel about this match, if I'm being honest, because, like, okay, I thought it was a solid match.
Yeah, it was fine.
I feel like it was really designed to get Jay over as a main eventer, but I didn't like how he rolled out of the ring so quickly there after he got the surprise victory. Like, I wish he would have stood his ground a little bit more, even if he caught a yeet down from Drew. And yes, I said that on purpose, people listening at home. But even if he caught a yeet down from Drew afterwards, like, I would have rather Jay won and then kind of like stood tall instead of running, rolling out of the ring and running like a bitch. That's just a personal preference, though.
I mean, put it this way. The most talked about thing about this match wasn't even the match. It was the fact that Travis Scott smoked the blunt. That was it.
Or took the head off of a vape.
It was staged.
Was it staged?
It was Sage.
It was Sage? Oh, shit.
I think the finish protects both. You have to protect Drew. You have to protect Jay, especially if you have any desire to continue to invest in this. It's kind of reminiscent of Kid and Ramon.
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay.
And
Gee,
You
I
have
wonder
to have
who
moments
got
like that.
finish.
You have to have moments like that. I didn't think Jay was going to beat Drew clean. In a traditional sense, like decisive win. He beat him by the skin of his teeth, which is very Jay Uso. So
Yeah. That's fair, I guess, but I get where you're coming from, but there's still a part of me that if I'm going to take Jay Uso seriously as a main eventer in the future, then I want to see him stand tall in the ring, arm raised, after vanquishing the Scotsman.
I hear that, but I also counterbutt and I rebut that. I refute Jey Uso as a main event caliber guy. He's main event in name alone. You have to actually be in the main event to be called main event.
He's been in main events. He wasn't tonight.
Wasn't tonight. Wasn't last week.
But he has had main events.
He's semi-hard Jey Uso because he was on the semi-main.
Damn it, James.
Sorry. I had to get at least one of those stupid quotes.
Anything you want to add to this match?
Yeah, okay. So as I said, big Travis Scott doing big Travis Scott things, smoking that big Travis Scott blunt, and that was my takeaway. Yeah, I thought the match was weird. I get it. Hopefully this leads into something, because you'll notice the people that had issues with the bloodline and people associating with the OG bloodline, a la Jay, Punk, they did not win their matches tonight. So maybe that comes into factor later on, especially when you add the Kevin Owens factor as well.
That's fair.
So
I just wanted someone to roll up Travis Scott for his hardcore title.
Yeah, I noticed that too. He had like a modern day WWE championship.
Triple H gave that to him at a concert.
Deep like on it to
it was a hardcore title. Yeah.
I really wanted someone to roll him up for that.
Where was R-Truth when we need him?
R-Truth, I unified the 24/7 7-Eleven European hardcore title.
Then we got to everybody in LA's favorite segment, the Hulk Hogan promo.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so I'm going to say this before I let y'all loose here, because I had the volume on my TV down enough that I couldn't hear the boos as loud as y'all did.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did say on commentary, and I want to know your guys' thoughts here. I feel like they missed an opportunity with this, because Hogan was out there, and we already talked about the opportunity they missed with American Made, so let's just leave that off the table. But you have Hulk Hogan out there promoting his Real American beer. Why couldn't you have had Stone Cold come out? Couple of Real American beers, Stone Cold toast. Would that have saved the Hogan segment?
Fuck no, because I don't think I don't even think Austin wants to associate with Hogan.
The Texas rattlesnake, big beard swelling son of a bitch.
Hey, listen,
drinking down some Real American beers.
There's conflict of interest there because of Broken Skull IPA. He can't compete with his own brand like that.
I'm a Hulk Hogan fan, not a Terry fan. Okay,
fair.
I don't like Terry. I was very surprised to hear just how loud the boos would be. I knew it was going to be a mixed reaction of things, right? But that's what I at least inferred in my head when I read the Real American Beer thing earlier today. We saw the leak on the leak of the ring mat earlier a few days ago on SmackDown.
Yeah.
They really don't like that dumb pirate son of a bitch, Hulk Hogan.
No.
To quote one of my friends.
Wait, why is he a pirate?
Because a few years ago at WrestleMania, he came out dressed up like a pirate.
Oh, the
one with Titus
right.
O'Neil.
like,
how do we get him booed?
We talk about go away heat, right? Hogan has that now at this point in his career, and I don't think his political career helped him at this point.
Nope.
Kind of shocked Undertaker didn't get booed out of the arena either. But some people are allowed. Some people can look at the Undertaker quite fondly and separate their personal biases. They hate Hulk Hogan.
I think the difference is that we know where Mark Calloway ends and the Undertaker begins.
Yeah.
And almost anybody associated with the business says they don't know where Terry Bollea ends and Hulk Hogan begins.
Yeah.
I think Terry died like 40, 50 some years ago when Hulkamania was born in the AWA.
That's quite possible, but I think that's the main difference is when Undertaker is out there doing the political stuff, people realize that's Mark Calloway. That's a man speaking his personal feelings, personal beliefs, whatever. He doesn't bring a lot of that into his gimmick. You don't hear a lot of that when he's the Undertaker.
Yeah.
That's where people separate it.
Yes.
Terry Bollea can go out there and cut a promo about Donald Trump, but then he rips the shirt off like Hulk Hogan, and it's like, bro, you're Hulk Hogan. You're not Terry Bollea.
Politics is pro wrestling in its finest.
Well, politics is a work. Buy the shirt on the Greg Cherry brand.
There you go.
I will say my favorite part about the Hogan segment was the shirt that he had under the Real American Beer, because I thought that whole Raw
Netflix
thing,
Raw.
I thought that was a cool shirt.
That's the one positive you have that we're in big trouble.
And then he walked out with it like his pants were falling down.
Well, and then you had Jimmy Hart with him, and I can never hate on Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart has always been super awesome to me.
Yeah, I know, but like everybody loves Jimmy Hart. Even
his
DJ
choice in Friends is a whole other story, but I can never hate on Jimmy Hart.
Look, I will never listen. I understand giving people second chances, but there is a difference with Hulk Hogan as opposed to other people. All right. Tessa at least owned up to her mistakes privately. Hogan has not. At least most of those apologies have not been met. And I would argue that as bad as that press was for what he did all those years ago with the N-word being uttered the way he uttered it, there was a lot more damage prior to that a lot of people then dug up after that happened. And then they realized, yeah, fuck giving this guy another chance.
I feel that.
That's it. I mean, look, between Undertaker and Hogan, I don't even think it's just a gimmick thing. I understand the whole gimmick separate from the character. But you already knew the guy was an American, right? Like, and he's a right wing. This was no freaking secret. But, and this is the biggest difference between Taker and Hogan, or at least it feels like that. Hogan doesn't appreciate people that don't go with his line of thinking, dude. Taker can see the other perspective, and I proved this by how him and McFoley treated each other when they had opposing viewpoints politically.
Fair enough.
There you go. I mean, I have nothing else I can say about that. Like, Hogan's an asshole. Calloway is not, for the most part. He can be an asshole at times, not all the time. There's a big difference.
Fair enough. Before we go any further, coming into the chat room, the stage is the Pink Ranger herself, Datilla.
Hello.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Sorry I'm not on camera. I am tired. Long
No
day.
worries.
And now you just got Ryan, you triggered Ryan's tism there because now he's gonna go get his Power Ranger memorabilia.
Yeah, he mentioned
Wait,
on Shenanigans he's got a whole room of Power Ranger stuff. So you
Oh,
may
that's
have a
cool.
soulmate here.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, soulmate as far as friend goes, he does have a girlfriend. So
Fair
No,
enough.
no worries.
let's just clear the air
I
right
have a
away.
wife.
Huh?
Oh shit!
I have the helmet too, but mine's still in the box.
I have wife. Sorry, my apologies, Ryan.
Oh.
Oh, that's awesome. By the way, I forgot you had that too. Shit. There you go.
It's wearing the Green Ranger sweater too. That's awesome.
Hey. There you go.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the main event. We'll discuss that and then we can kind of rewind and let Datilla give her thoughts since she's joining late, as she usually does. But we forgive her. She's got her own channel to run also. So the main event, of course, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. This was, I don't want to say a masterpiece because I do feel like they left room for future installments, but this was a damn good first encounter. You could definitely see communication throughout the ring. I noticed when Seth rolled Punk over before he put the boot on the rope that you could see Seth whispering something to him. And then after Punk collapsed on him and got the victory, you could see Punk whispering something to Seth. But for as much as Colby and Phil supposedly hate each other, I don't think I've seen two people with legitimate heat, if they in fact do have legitimate heat, work so well since Brett and Sean. Because they took care of each other, they looked out for each other, and they made sure that both men looked good while handling business. Matt, Nick, this is how it's supposed to be done. Take notes. James, I'm going to go to you first.
Oh, good. Oh, so yeah. Exhibit A of how AEW done fucked up. There you go. Yeah, this.
Let's not go too deep down the fuck AEW hole, okay?
No,
this is about
that's
WWE and their show this evening, but
yeah, that's
I just
my
had
one.
to get that little jab in.
That's
Although
my
I
one.
did point out to Noah, Punk's outfit tonight was very reminiscent of All In Wembley.
And I wonder why. Yeah.
I think this is the second time he's wore that since he's been back.
Yep. This match ruled. They kicked the shit out of each other. They laid their shit in. There was nothing botched about this other than maybe the curb stomp, but even then, that still looked brutal to me. Perfect match. Sets up for a possible rematch down the road. And I think we might be getting that sooner rather than later. I think that's coming up. It'll be a hell of a show.
I think we wait till WrestleMania to get round 2 completely.
Maybe.
They'll touch in the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
They'll touch in the Chamber. But I feel like one of them will eliminate the other from the Rumble, preventing them from winning.
Yep.
And then whoever gets eliminated will get the pin in the Chamber to prevent them from going forward. And that's how you then run it back at Mania.
Yeah.
Because you've had each of them cost each other the opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm happy with this match. I thought they laid their shit in. It looked great. It looked snug. They didn't pull punches. They got a couple welts. You could tell there was like, all right, let's get our aggression out. Like, we hate each other for real. Let's get our hate out in this match, and then we'll have a Pepsi after. Because you could tell after that promo they had on Raw, like, there was legit feelings there. They cut a great work shoot promo, probably one of the better segments in Raw history the week prior. And it set up perfectly for what was basically a knockdown, drag-out fight. Very reminiscent of the way Kingston and Punk went only it went a little bit longer, and I thought it was the appropriate time, whereas AEW was short on time and they had to rush it. I wonder why. Yeah, it was really good. I thought the matches freaking great. They didn't give everything away at once, and they saved it for a later match. So, 2 thumbs up from me.
Okay. Datilla?
I really liked it. I'm glad it main evented. I'm surprised this match had a clean finish. I was expecting a dirty finish. But hey, I'm not complaining too much about it. Punk won. Maybe, like you said, maybe we'll get a part 2 at Mania. But it was an overall good match. I really did like it.
Ryan?
It was a beautiful match. It was the best match CM Punk has had since he's been back, as far as TV matches is concerned. In fact, I think it's his only TV match. He's only been on pay-per-view. He's only wrestled pay-per-view.
As far as I'm aware, yes, that is correct.
So,
although I'd argue I'd put that up with some of his best TV matches.
I don't see the necessity of having a second match. The match ended clean. It ended decisively. And the Royal Rumble is an open book. Right? Our road to WrestleMania is not very clear. They wanted Seth versus Punk at WrestleMania last year, I do believe. And they now finally have the first match, if it is, in the books. I just can't get away from thinking they promised CM Punk the main event of WrestleMania for a championship. Maybe that's the mark in me, but that's the thing that makes the most sense. So if there is supposed to be another match, someone's got to lose a world title between now and WrestleMania. It has to be to one of them. Because he is my pick for the Royal Rumble at this point.
That's fair.
You can always get a sequel later. Doesn't necessarily have to fall under WrestleMania season. SummerSlam is going to be a big weekend this year.
Night SummerSlam.
First 2-night SummerSlam. So you got to save some things for other shows. I really hate running a feud a year, 2 years, 3 years. Don't need it. Sometimes they go forever.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Sometimes they get a little long and drawn out.
Forever feuds.
To be fair, they kind of had to with this one because they didn't really have a choice. Punk got injured, so.
And he got a whole other feud out of it, too. He had a feud with Drew McIntyre, and we finally got the Seth Rollins either started or completed. I don't think there's any real heat between the two because Seth is Punk's kid when you think about it. He trained him, relatively speaking. Brought him in. Seth would have been fired years ago if it wasn't for CM Punk bringing him in for the Shield. The Shield was CM Punk's idea. So, I don't think there's any real heat there. If there was, it was buried a long time ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Well, that pretty much wraps up our thoughts going through everything. Datilla, would you like to run things back and kind of give your overall thoughts on the show?
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Sneezing.
All right. No, yeah, I'm still recovering from this cough that I had over the week. That's why. I don't know how it came across on Netflix, but I feel like for a show that didn't have time constraints, it felt like they were on a time constraint because I felt like one segment happened and then they quickly move on to the next. I felt like they didn't give time enough to breathe, and it ended exactly at 8. So I'm just like, I was just sitting there like, I felt like it kind of felt rushed, in my opinion. I don't know if it came across that way on Netflix, but I just felt like overall, I felt like the show, they really hyped up the show a lot. I didn't really like Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso, and the tribal combat match was okay. I was expecting more from like The Rock, the segment between The Rock and Roman, you know, but we'll see what happens with that. So, but aside from that, I thought overall it was a good show, decent show, but again, I just felt like the whole, I was kind of confused. Like Undertaker came out with during like at the end of the Rhea Ripley stuff, and then I don't know, there was just a lot to process. But like I said, it felt like there was time constraints, even though they supposedly didn't have time constraints.
I'll give you what I gave the rest of the panel before you joined, Datilla, and I'll give you a chance to answer this. Do you think there's a reason why they're not doing that? Because one, I think the Moana shoots happen in January, the reshoots. Two, do you think that after those are wrapped up, there's a reason why Roman teased the 27th Raw? And maybe that's when we'll get The Rock doing something more? Maybe they don't want to blow their load too early, if you know what I mean.
Jesus Christ.
It's not like that, metaphorically speaking. Come on.
Yeah, well, metaphorically, it still sounds
late.
nasty.
It's late. It's late.
I know it's late. God damn it.
It's the after dark hour.
That's it.
Go ahead, Datilla.
What's an hour?
Maybe, I don't know. I did hear about those Moana reshoots and stuff like that, but you know, who knows? The Rock could just be saying that to throw people off. He could be pulling an Andrew Garfield and actually, you know, be appearing for WrestleMania. He just doesn't want to say anything.
Well, yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
because, you know, if you believe the dirt sheets, he wasn't going to be there tonight.
The Rock himself confirmed yesterday.
I know.
You
I know
know.
he did.
We know.
So I don't know. We'll see. I just felt like this show was really a lot of hype, and some of it was just did not live up to the hype. Like I'm just happy Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan's feud is over, because I was just you know, I was just over that.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. You're the first person to have kind of a, I won't say completely negative, but a bit of a down view on today's episode. Everybody else seems to really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I will say, presentation wise, it looked really great. I liked the new microphone. Yeah. I like presentation wise, it looked really nice. Yeah, it looked really nice. You know,
I'd argue it's the best Raw has looked since the Ruthless Aggression era, production wise.
Yeah.
A full house, 17,000 seats.
17,000 strong, man. It was bomb.
It was packed.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, it was packed.
I mean, but not even just that. That aspect alone helps it. But I'm saying, man, like that Netflix budget kicking into high gear with the graphics. I mean, Jesus Christ.
You now have drone shows.
Correct me if I was wrong, if I'm wrong here, but you were there too, right, Datilla?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was there. I was there too. I will say I was slightly disappointed that we didn't get Penta instead of Miedo. I felt like debuting him in LA made so much sense as opposed to San Jose. No disrespect to San Jose, you know, in North Cal. But I just felt like it just made so much more sense to debut him in LA. I don't know why they didn't.
I mentioned that earlier with these guys, and then I said the same thing when I was on with Aaron. This show was so loaded that Penta, even with the crowd into him, he would have been an afterthought. Like, he really would have. And I did point out on Aaron's stream, and I think I said it in here too, you know, perception with the crowd popping for him like that would have been awesome. But having him in more of a showcase next week when it's really just the IC Women's title final and now Chad Gable's match.
Yeah.
He froze.
Nah, not a reroll.
And here you go.
again.
Take two.
Take two. We'll come back to Jeff momentarily. If only we had our.
I'll repeat what I said earlier. This was the first time in WWE canon since February 8th, 2024, where the name High Chief Seuli has been used.
Yes.
So
When the technology at home is shittier than technology at the Intuit Dome. That's my day.
There you go.
Anyway, the fact that Penta's match is going to be apparently heavily showcased. Exactly, Manuel. With all those people there, Penta would have just been another guy. Yes, his market. Yes, near Pasadena-ish. But, you know, it is what it is. And next week's going to be awesome because he's going to get oh man, who's he bringing in to face Chad? Because a lot of the casuals that watch Netflix tonight are going to have no idea who he is. And the crowd response between internet crowd and the live crowd will still be enough where the casuals will go, check this guy out.
You got home already?
Yep, I'm home. You remember, I got driven there and back instead of having to take that damn transit like I thought I was going to. So,
Yep.
this side
Is
of
it-
it.
You see? Oh, that was fast.
No, he was driving for a while.
I've actually been home for about a half hour. Yeah, remember, I popped in with these guys almost right out of the arena, and then I was on Aaron's stream right at the very end. He brought me in at midnight Eastern.
God
bless him.
I got home not too long ago. I got picked up, then we went to go get something to eat. So I got home not too long ago, and I didn't leave right away. Did you leave right away?
No, we hung around until the music actually stopped for Punk, and then we bounced. And you also remember, where we parked, we got really good parking. We lucked out. There was a street, Doty Street, DOTY Road Street, whatever it was. The freaking residents were just offering parking, and somebody's like $40. We're like, sold.
Yeah, people tend to do that in that part of town. People tend to do it whenever there's a show.
Hey, you know what? I'd rather pay $40 for freaking parking and be able to walk it in 10 minutes and have to, even getting to parking there would have been twice as much, or more. But we also, once we actually got to the freeway, for those of you LA folks, JJ will know this, the 405 on ramp at Manchester, once we got there, when I popped in with Aaron, we were dead stopped. That ramp was not moving. The freeway was not moving because of all the fucking traffic coming out of that area. It was bad. So I had a nice clear signal with Aaron for a while. That was nice. But yeah, you are one of the few I've heard that's been disappointed with a lot of the show. I have been raked over the coals because of my former red and yellow affiliation. Good Lord Almighty. Had to meet a few people today. Rough. And somebody cracked on my entrance video, and it's like, dude, I'm there as a fan. Like, just fuck all the way off, for real. The person that gave me crap on Twitter has so many bad takes. He hates pit bulls just on principle. It's like, okay, you hate a dog I own, and you're cracking on my John Cena being a fan entrance. You're on mute. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
I know. This was the perfect day to be a wrestling fan that can ignore the Twitter twats.
Yeah.
Because the business was on showcase today.
Yeah. And I think really, like, at the end of the day, they wanted, and as I said, I think Ryan even said a quantity over quality principle. Or quality over quantity principle. I think they didn't want to blow their load too early. I know it's late. Sorry, forgive me. But I think they wanted to save a lot of their stuff for later shows. They're trying to, as I said to Jeff, they're trying to get you a reason, and they did, to tune in next week. And you'll notice Penta did appear, albeit with a graphic, straight up in full Technicolor. The Penta font was there. He is that guy next week. They already saw that, and they're like, is it Penta? They already got you intrigued. They made it the worst kept secret for a reason. They got people to tune in. It was brilliant. I thought it was a great piece of business.
Yeah, other than go ahead, Jay, I'm sorry. Other than the decision to trot Hogan out in front of the 17,000 people, no problem with this show whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I will say, as far as the production, from what I could see, again, I haven't watched the show back. That'll be in the morning before I get on an 11:30 a.m. bus to go back to downtown LA area for NXT tomorrow. But the Intuit Dome itself is awesome. Like I said, $13.75. I get drinks for life, sodas for life. Like, I'm here for it.
I hated the steps. Those fucking steps were horrible. I thought I was gonna fall.
Well, sweetheart, to be fair, if we were sitting any higher, we would have been on the roof.
Yeah,
Like I was in. I don't know what row you were in your terrace seat. I was in the top row. The only thing behind me was the standing area where the foldable chairs were, and then to go out into the corridor. I was at the tippy fucking top of that dome. But I will never complain because it was awesome. Were they? No, they were booing. They were booing.
No. Trust me, we heard it. We heard it.
Even I wasn't saying boo earns. I was just sitting there looking at Dylan like, I think I'm in the wrong building for the next few minutes.
Were you wearing your Meechamania shirt?
Thankfully, no, I couldn't find it. I have. So it's funny enough. I have the one back here somewhere in this. Oh, it's right here underneath my ass where it belongs.
Yeah, because Ryan, Jeff is such a Hogan fanatic that he did his own logo in the Hogan font and made it.
What's funny is I didn't design that. So the person that was running the NoDQ.com Instagram page before Aaron took it over proper, like drew the Meechamania font logo on Hogan pulling carrying his own shirt away. There it is.
Yeah.
All right. But this shirt I can't wear because it has a giant hole visible, so I have to wear a red undershirt. And it's like I got my John shirt. I'm good. But yeah, they did not like Terry today. It was not a good day to be Terry, but no.
I wanted to say, this is according to on Brandon Thurston's Twitter.
Brandon, I love Brandon.
Only numbers are strong, and Netflix executives are very pleased.
Whoa! Yay!
How they can't be. Like I said, this Rock pointed out it was large. The fact that a 17,000 seat dome was the largest arena gate in WWE history.
Yeah.
First of all, that tells me two things. One, the tickets really were expensive as fuck. Number two, the interest is there. The business has never been hotter. And like I was going to say before I went over to Aaron's stream when I was here, for the most part today, I got to be a fan again. And I had my boy with me who's not been to a show in years. And it was great being a fan and not worrying about the business of the wrestling business. It was so fun. I did a ridiculous looking John Cena entrance with the wrong belt with my goofy ass gray freaking scally cap on. I had the time of my fucking life today. I really did.
By the way, we have that loaded. So here's that clip.
Okay. Take me out some little shot. I hate you. Solo shot. Anyway. First of all, let me be clear. That was edited for this purpose. So we can actually show that getting copyright paying. They actually played the real song at the stadium.
Yes, they did. And see, I still hate James just a little bit because I made my own edit, but I used Paul Heyman doing the John Cena thing.
And bro, you can air that. It's your show.
You can air that if you want.
Sure enough. I will say, you know what's so fucked about that, Jeff? You know how you can tell you've known this guy for so long, for so many years, both on a professional and personal level, to a degree?
Yeah.
You got the mannerisms down.
No, I know. It's so funny. Like I felt bad for the camera woman because I was trying to show the fact that I had my Hall of Fame ring on. Let me see if I can dig that fucker out since I didn't get a proper showing on that camera. There. So, and people are like, "Are you in the Hall of Fame?" It's like, no, I just bought a ring off eBay because I was at the ceremony.
In the Hall of Fame, my ass.
There it is. There you go.
Is it
There you
Superstar Billy Graham's ring?
No,
I
I
heard he
wouldn't buy
sold
his
his
ring.
on eBay, so you know.
Yeah, I know. No,
Oh yeah, you went to the 2008 Hall of Fame. You should have said it was Superstar Billy Graham's ring. That would
I
have
should
been
have.
funny.
Well, no, because he got inducted later. But
Yeah, I know, but
no, but yeah, it was so. Yeah, no, you're perfect right about the end. Yeah, but I was the first part that you see me sticking the ring out, like trying to show the camera, but it didn't zoom in enough before they cut to the John Cena Titantron's like, oh, God damn it. But yeah, the whole putting the belt over my head like he did it at the Hammerstein, that was purely John. Good shit.
Which while he's been talking, I went ahead and uploaded the other one. So here's that version.
Folks,
I feel like it's even funnier with the Haven in it.
okay. I have been a fan for 34 years, and I've been doing this shit for 22. That's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
wait. So here's my question, JJ. Wait, was that the thing you sent me on Facebook? Because I thought because I had replied to you thinking that you just used the theme.
No, that's what I sent you.
God. I skipped it right before it got to that part, so that's my first time seeing that.
There are so many people that I know personally and professionally that I'm going to spend on time on text or calls with, and we're going to all going to be peeing our pants. Fuck me. No, because if I throw this hat, number one, it's $60 down the drain. Number two, I'm not going to get it back. Number three, I'm going to have Mama Bear pissed at me for throwing away a $60 hat.
Yeah, that's what I sent you, James, because I was like, okay, how can we do this and not get copyright?
I feel like a dick now. I should have watched the whole thing. It would have been like, fuck my idea. That was way better.
That's way better.
That was way better. I'm pissed at myself now. I said, you know what? This is the problem. Everybody in my personal life, stop pressuring me to do shit, because this is what happens. Now
I don't pressure you to do anything.
I know. I pressured myself. I feel derpy.
You want to pressure?
That was so good.
Make the fucking highlight video. I had that on lock.
I know. Sorry, my bad. Well, there you go. Now you have a cool version and the funniest version. So
both of them were good because the
both of them are good.
One
yeah,
is awesome too. But
yeah,
it's doing it, and then because it took me a couple of times watching it back, and each time I watched it back, I just laughed harder and harder because Jeff's reactions and the syncing was so perfect.
So good.
Even version, like.
Oh my god, that was that was hysterical.
Were you only allowed to have one entrance, or you could have done another one?
I could have done as many as I wanted, but I got up there like so. Dylan and our driving buddy Phil dropped me off, and then they went back and got more shit out of the car. So I went into the first gate, and I got in that line relatively quickly. By the time I got out of there, the merch line was ridiculous. That line was ridiculous. It was like, nope, I'm not doing lines today. I'm not working. I'm not doing lines.
To be fair, Distilla, he does now have 3 entrances. He has the original, he has the 8-bit one, and now he has the Paul Heyman version.
Oh,
wow. I need to be sent. I need to send the other 2. I don't have the other 2. I do have the one the WWE sent me. So, but yeah, it was really fun. They had John, they had Rocky, they had Austin, they had Hunter, they had Cody, and Rhea, they had Bianca. Huh?
Did they have Punk?
Yes.
You should have had Dylan do Punk, and then we could have gone back to 3-year-old Dylan doing clobbering time,
and
then done 17-year-old Dylan doing it.
I asked Dylan. He didn't want to do it. I was like, okay, that's all right. Ooh, yeah. Yes. I'm saying boo, not boo words on my own kid. But yeah, it was like it's funny. I remember when it was either Edge or Lawler said, I wish they'd had this when I was a kid, when they went to Access in either 2000 2001. I wish that kind of shit was like that technologically upgraded when we were going, you and I, Jay, to the conventions, to the manias, to the summer slams, because god damn it, that was so much fun. It's 20 seconds, but it's fucking great.
The only thing we had close to that was the Call the Match,
which was awesome. I still have a VHS of me and Lee calling the WrestleMania 15 main event, so that was cool. One thing I will say, and Taylor pointed out, I think Taylor pointed out the merch. Maybe you, James, pointed out the merch. I forget. No, sorry, it was Dylan pointing out the merch on Aaron's recap. I miss the days where merch didn't start at $40.
right?
Like, god damn.
That's my biggest issue with all the wrestling companies. It's part of why I'm gonna start getting my WWE shirts from Temu.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason a T-shirt costs $40.
No,
no.
I got a bunch of T-shirts for the house. I got Natalie, the Family Above All, Roman Reigns shirt.
Yeah.
I got Dennis a Yeet shirt. Mike Gordon a Wyatt Six shirt. And I think I spent about between $30 to $35 for all three.
There you go.
See, there you go. Yeah, I bet you that's where my dad got my Punk shirt. I think my dad got my Punk shirt from Temu because it has the I was there. I wasn't there. I wasn't in Chicago.
I will say,
don't come after us, WWE, for telling people to go to other websites to get your merchandise, but
he's crazy.
We don't make it, we just buy it.
That's right. I did get a shirt for a birthday girl who was unable to be there today, and she knows about it because I really, it's not a gift. She was like, I've got a gift card. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But in addition to buying that, let me stay. Good phone.
Nice.
Yeah. So
the Dodgers themed towel for an Eagles fan.
Like I said on Aaron's stream, I am proud of the Bostonian for sticking up to the crowd and having Dodger stuff. I couldn't have been easy for John. So good on him. Yeah, if he ends up not doing another appearance in LA before the tour's over, I'm sure he'll have one more out here, but at least still in line with the first one, which is still pretty fucking cool.
Hey, he wore Laker colors that one time they did the Lakers versus the Nuggets, and he's from Boston.
And I know that didn't make him happy. I know, because then he was stuck in purple and gold for however many months. He was not a happy camper. But yeah, I cannot not recommend the baby experience enough to the new audience that was established tonight. These guys know what they're doing, man. They always have, as far as production, as far as, you know, a lot of things. But the fact that they're finally listening to the fans, and they delivered one of the best shows I've ever seen, live, TV, whatever. And they did a full-on media scrum that only ended right about the time I got home.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that when we get off the air.
So am I. Yeah, because a lot of people on there I wanted to hear from. You know, John was on there. I know Rhea was there. I know Paul and Roman. Oh, speaking of, I'm glad you brought up Paul earlier. I was good with the Roman solo match. I was good with my emotions. Because, you know, I've known that family forever. But when Paul went to his knees and presented the Ulafala and started crying, I lost it. Everybody's like, and I'm like, Dad, what's up? I said, it's can't understand it if you haven't been watching these guys and known this family for as long as I have. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And I pointed out, I don't know if I said this to you guys earlier, if I said it to Aaron, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself from earlier. It's been over 2 hours, 2.5 hours you guys have been on. The fact that when he first became the tribal chief, it was his father that presented the Ulafala. His father is gone and his uncle is gone, and it was going to be his wise man. It was so appropriate, but I think The Rock doing it was even a little bit better.
I think The Rock doing it, I think Heyman being by his side, I think that's in a way kind of his father and uncle, which is going to make it all the more heartbreaking when The Rock eventually turns on him on the 27th.
You know what though? Lord help me, because I'm not gonna be there tomorrow. I think this lends more credence to Virtue's theory that it's going to be a Rock and Cody.
Yeah,
because he did. He acknowledged Cody in the opening promo, and it seemed like they made nice. And of course, on social media, they made nice because Rock can't help but film every goddamn thing on social media. It's like, oh fuck. But he's going to be there tomorrow too. So we'll see what happens when The Rock steps into the Shrine Auditorium for NXT crowd, which is, let's think about this, guys. The last 2 years, we've had John Cena on NXT, Cody Rhodes on NXT, The Undertaker, and now The Rock. Like, what are we doing? Yes, sir?
Well, I'll have Ryan go first. I'll be patient. I have a meme.
But unlike last year and maybe the year prior, there's not a clear-cut theory as to who's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Right?
Yep.
You can say WWE listened to a whole 200,000 fans on Twitter when their audience is in the millions. You can say they listened to them. I think it was always the plan. What happened last year was always the plan. That's my personal theory. 200,000 people screaming loud on Twitter is not a minority, or it's not a majority of fans. If we got Rock and Roman last year, people would have inevitably, smart fans would have hated it probably, but inevitably everyone would have went with it, the long term of things. The Royal Rumble is an open book. There is no clear path to WrestleMania this year. A lot of story threads could very well have ended tonight. And whether or not they are, who knows? We'll see next week, right?
Yeah, John made me think. Like, he really made me a believer that he could actually do this again and be in that spot. And I'm like, I knew he was going to be in the Rumble. I knew that was going to be it. I knew he was going to be in the match. I knew he would pull that card, but he made me really believe that he might actually win the mother. It's crazy.
Good see it. Now, here I can picture it now. Cody Rhodes, right? You got Kevin Owens he's feuding with. You'll have The Rock he's feuding with. They both have a set of championships on them right now. Cody Rhodes, the belt collector. Who's with me? Huh? Anybody? No?
Dude, I just wish they'd do the
James.
The modern treatment to the Winged Eagle already and just get rid of Big Logo.
No, it's funny. I had the belt with me until the first real intermission, because I finally just had to hang it up on the thing. I was like, it's too much to carry this fucker around. I'm trying to take a leak. But when I had it with me in the Liaki room for the first time, I'm like, I wish they would just fucking take this and make this the championship again, because then they probably never lose me as an audience member again, because I love this belt so goddamn much.
Well, the World Heavyweight title, I said years ago to several of my wrestling friends, that's what they did with the World Heavyweight title is what to do with the World Heavyweight title. Just redo it, slap a W on it. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Just do that with Winged Eagle or Big Eagle. I could really care less which one.
Yep.
But WWE has a slew of memorable championships. Pick one. Big Logo, never been a fan of it. Scratch or present. I'm just glad we are past the time period where every title is Big Logo.
Yep. I agree.
Sorry, I'm trying to turn you guys down. I'm apparently being too loud for the room here.
Okay. It's okay.
There we go. It's okay.
Oh. So, since I'm here, what else do you want to talk about?
Oh.
What were you saying, Datella?
Oh, I was just saying, told you. I'm glad you're doing it where you're gonna have that experience.
No, it was really cool to be able to have that, and with Dylan, which made it 10 times better, 100 times better.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to going tomorrow too, though. It'll be a much more intimate setting, much more chill setting, I think, but it'll still be a lot of fun because the NXT crowd always brings it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know if you guys saw on social, but I just saw a clip while you guys were chatting after the match of Punk saying that match was for Chris Bay.
Oh yeah,
That was awesome. Yeah, that was great. Good on him, man.
I thought that was a nice little shout out there. Nice little touch.
Yeah, that was really cool of Punk to do that.
Again,
Hey, but he's a
acknowledging
cancer,
the
guys,
other
right?
He's
He's a cancer, though, guys, right?
Yeah. He's a cancer. He's a rotten person.
Yeah, such a rotten person.
Fragile Phil, right?
Young Bucks can suck my dick. Thank you very much.
James, save that for Saturday.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
Because I'm sure that'll come up on Saturday, especially now that they're the IWGP tag team.
He's actually a Scorpio, guys.
Wait, which one? Which one is a Scorpio? CM Punk. Oh yeah, fair enough.
Oh,
wait.
Another guy who be ruined.
I was about to say. Wait. So what month does that mean he's in as a Scorpio?
October 26th.
Oh, he's only a month away from me. There you go. Good for him.
Assuming space racism is about as accurate as it always has been.
Yeah, true. Exactly. I got to tell you, though, he must have some bitchin' Halloween and birthday parties.
Right.
Good for him.
Well, I think we pretty much covered the entire show. Did you get all your thoughts out that you wanted to about the show? I know Jeff kind of came in while you were going through your thoughts.
Yeah, I pretty much did. I mean, overall, I had fun. I always have fun when I go to shows, you know. But definitely can't wait to see how the show looked on Netflix because, I heard it was uncensored. That's why you heard the boos and the.
It was uncensored for the crowd, yeah.
So it should be interesting.
There you go. Now, Attila, as much as you were negative about the show, I will say, and this is the one dig I got to get at him, you're at least way better at having fun at a wrestling show, even if it's WWE, than Dave Meltzer is talking about the show and previewing it. There you go. I said it. Check, please. If you listen to that clip, you know what I'm talking about. Brian felt like he had to pull teeth just to get him to talk about it, by the way. It was embarrassing. Fuck me.
I hate Dave Meltzer.
We all do. Join the club, Ryan. Join the club.
Hate's a very strong word, but I intensely dislike his presentation.
I agree.
So it's funny you brought up the uncensoring. There was a guy sitting a couple people over from us, and more than a few, actually in the same section, but just like over, doing the whole Jacob Batu thing all night. I love you, Solo. All night.
I think I heard him.
He was loud enough. I'm not surprised. Yeah, her and I were far enough apart where even still, she probably all night. So finally, he's doing it during the main event. I stand up and go, I hate that. You love it. Jobber. Sat down.
Oh, hey, did you apparently, I don't know if you noticed, but apparently they were throwing t-shirts.
I did not know that.
Huh?
You know how I know? Because I got bonked in the head with one.
Oh, no.
I thought the guy behind me dropped something. I was about to say something to him because it hit me right in the head. And it fell back. It fell back. So I was like, "Oh, he probably dropped something." But then apparently they were throwing shirts or something. I don't know. But
you got Tony Chimmeled. No.
Yeah, I'm like, did this thing shoot out of a cannon or something? Because that shit hurt. It really hurt.
I didn't get hit with the shirt. I got hit with part of a Modelo thanks to some asshole standing behind me cheering like an idiot. But
you know what, man? I'm gonna tell you, that's no joke. Even though it's a T-shirt, make sure you're not suffering from concussion syndrome right now. I'm just saying.
Concussion syndrome.
So, hypothetically speaking, what if the Luchador facing Chad Gable next week is Juan Cena?
So Ryan's
Yeah.
banned. He can go now.
No, he cannot, because number one, that was fucking hilarious. Number
Oh
two,
my
this
God.
dude's got some great cakes. Go back and watch Saturday Shenanigans.
Yeah, he was great. Him and DJ.
No. I kid, but yeah, no, I want Penta. Want Cena? Fuck that shit. No.
Ryan's welcome. DJ's welcome. They have great banter.
It's Conquistador Dos.
To be fair, though, Juan Cena had a mask on at least, so we just want to see that giant ass ball spot. So actually, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it. Why not?
The new AEW Trios champions, folks, to save AEW: Juan Cena and Conquistador 1 and 2. There you go.
I mean, Conquistador 1 and 2 do work for the company.
There you go. And
JJ, can you
different
switch me and
from
Ryan real
John
quick?
Cena.
The only Los Conquistadores that doesn't work for the company is Hardcore Kid, Aaron Aguilera, and well, that's better.
And fuck that guy anyway. So.
Christopher Daniels works there too, and he was a substitute Conquistador.
Jeff wants to call me an idiot.
Fuego 2. It's Fuego 2.
Fuego 2. Fuego 2. Yeah. Cody's Fuego 2 and Fuego's Fuego 1. That's right. Go ahead, Jeff. You want to call me an idiot? Switch them around, JJ, if you could.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. James, you fucking idiot. Okay. I can't yell because I got people, you know.
The tism is a strong one.
How bent is that crutch at this point?
Oh man, that thing's been obliterated for years, brother. That thing's been obliterated for years for comedic purposes.
Okay. Just checking.
For comedic purposes, I don't use it as a legit excuse. Calm down.
I know.
James, the Wrestling with Tism podcast.
That's just a J. Hubert side of things. What do you mean?
We just call that shit Tuesday around here. Like,
yeah, pretty much. You ain't wrong.
Go ahead and bring up Emmanuel's comment here. This will probably be the last discussion point, unless we actually do get a super chat.
Amen.
He asks, can we discuss the New Day segment, and when do we move away from the stage?
yeah,
I think we
that
move
was
away
rough.
from the stage when we finally get them in a match of some kind.
WrestleMania.
Because they did the thing with Big E, and they haven't really done anything since.
Yeah.
You've got to get them in some ring action. You've got to get them in a match where they can continue to play up their heelish ways.
Yeah.
Having them get Dominic Mysterio microphone heat isn't going to cut it.
Nope.
You need to get them in the ring, and you can further them that way.
I have
Especially if you can find some other guys that are similar enough to Big E.
Yes.
That they can, beat and say that they're beating Big E up. Because again, that Jagged Apes, that muscle-bound maniac is there for the post-show tonight, but he can't be on camera to further the storyline with the New Day. I'm sorry, the New Day is the baby faces. Big E is the heel here, in my opinion.
I mean, what they could do, Jay? They could have
I said this,
Oh, that's right.
I said this the other night. I feel like Obafemi should become the heater for the New Day, the big heavy.
Yep.
The New Day don't work as a two-person act.
Yeah.
And this leads into the inevitable return for a Big E later down the road.
I just don't want them to ruin Oba by bringing him up and doing that. Like, I think that'll be a short-term Band-Aid to the storyline.
Yes.
But Oba's such a bad motherfucker. Like,
I think it returns us back to what we were going to do before Odyssey Jones was quietly fired.
Yeah. Yes. I think that had you not established Oba as such a bad motherfucker, it would be an easy switch. But like, Iggy was dominant. He was a good worker when he first came in as Nemeth Heater. But then he evolved into Big E now. And we all grew to love Big E. Oba is he is a badder motherfucker than when Big E got called up.
Sure.
So I think that would unintentionally be a step down for Oba to be just a heater. Now, if it's and the thing is, the inevitable clearing of Big E is not inevitable. We don't know if that's ever going to happen. Now, granted, well, then they shouldn't have turned him heel in the first place. I agree. But now we're here. The die has been cast. Yep. So we have to do something. And I loathe the thought of them pigeonholing Oba. Oba needs to fucking win tomorrow night, if I'm being honest with him.
Yes, he does. I agree with you.
I'll let you guys finish off because I'm at 3% and I'm dying. So, good night.
All right,
good night, brother.
Let's
Thank you.
Ryan, like we said to DJ, feel free to come back for the shenanigans on Saturday night, sir. Hopefully you hear this if you watch it back.
Yeah, they are great additions. Let me give my idea of what they could do. This is a legit idea. This isn't a meme. I think, to Ryan's point, and to your point, Jeff, I think it's a Band-Aid to a problem. Mm-hmm. I think the way you do it is this. Oba Femi still needs to win the NXT title, and I think he needs to carry the future of NXT. Mm-hmm. At the same time, he is main roster ready, in my opinion. So, have him work as the heater on Raw for Woods, specifically Woods, and for a little bit Kofi. This is where I'm going with this. 6-man tag for Elimination Chamber, or whatever the pay-per-view is before Mania. Oba Femi with Woods and Kofi as the New Day versus Big E and the Street Profits. They have their match. Kofi's had enough of Woods' shit. He then turns the blame game on him. He kind of becomes a person who's a rock and a hard place with all this shit going on. That then sets up the triple threat, but Oba's still on Woods' side, and Oba becomes the heater for Woods while he holds the NXT Championship. This accomplishes a lot of things. One, gets you a tag match that people would be interested in for Elimination Chamber, especially where they're going for it. Number two, it will get that triple threat match at Mania way easier, in my opinion. And you could have Woods get the victory through dubious circumstances with the heater of Oba Femi. And then he could finally have the serious role that we know he can portray. And that could push him into the upper echelon for a little bit of mid-card territory, maybe even win a championship later on at the end of the year for the Intercontinental. Or the U.S. if he gets drafted to SmackDown. One of the two. Then, while he has the U.S. title and Oba Femi has the NXT Championship as his heater, that accomplishes getting more eyes on NXT because this badass motherfucker who's the heater for Xavier Woods is the champion. I rest my case.
Well, again, that relies on Big E getting cleared.
True. I agree.
Without Big E getting cleared, this story goes absolutely nowhere.
Yes. I agree with you there, but I'm saying if he is, do that.
No. And your presentation relies on him getting cleared in a month. So, yeah, that's... I want E back so bad. He's such a great personality on camera. But there's two things. One, he's not medically cleared and likely won't be, that we know of. Number two, to JJ's point, they've totally made the heel out of him in this. It doesn't matter how bad Dominic heat they get. He's still going to get the heater. He's still going to get the heat long term. I'm seeing there's a goodbye in the chat room, so I'll be quiet for a second. See you in a few hours, my friend. God help us. LA traffic again.
Yeah, well, I guess it's pretty much out of the bag, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff and I are gonna go to NXT tomorrow. That's the reason why he's going. I invited him.
Yay!
We're gonna do the thing. So,
I love how she's going to the show that totally isn't her brand. She doesn't watch, doesn't work
I know, right?
Tuesdays, and she's going to NXT.
I haven't been to an NXT show since NXT Takeover War Games 2.
It's true.
Well, hopefully tomorrow's experience will make you start wanting to cover it more regularly.
We'll see. I mean,
She will believe.
War Games 2 was actually the reason why I actually started watching NXT Black and Gold. So we'll see.
There you
We'll
go.
see.
There you go.
JJ, we will rope her back in. I'll make it happen.
And I mean, you get The Rock that's going to be there. It's going to.
God, I can't fucking believe
How
that shit.
hard?
Well, put it this way. This man for 14 years has held over my head that he was there at the pond when The Rock made his big return.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Folly.
Anyway,
I got you.
the till is sleepy, so we should let him go.
Yeah. I still have to work tomorrow. That's why.
Oh, that is
Wait, you are or not working tomorrow?
I am working tomorrow. It was my first day back. That's why I'm tired.
Oh, that's right. That's fair.
Let's hope. Let's pray that you did not get a concussion from the T-shirt, and hopefully you'll have a good time at work and also tomorrow at the show.
Yes. But I will. Yes, I will. I'm not sure what time I'm getting down there. Probably not as early as I did today because I was there way early enough where I got a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, you were at work and I was just still on my lunch. You were there and I was still on my lunch break. I was like, wow, you're there early.
They opened the dome at 12:30. They opened the parking at 12:30. It's like, well, fuck, might as well be there, and it worked out.
That's the way we used to do it back in the day, man. We'd get up at Staples Center at like 9-10 o'clock for 5 o'clock show.
Yep.
That way you could see everybody arriving and try to get autographs and shit and pictures.
Yep. That isn't happening in the modern era now. They bring everybody in fucking cloak and dagger and bring them right downstairs. So
I got there at 3:45.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, you got there pretty decent time. Poor Travis, or my buddy Travis, freaking didn't get to security till they were just getting ready to go on the air. It was pretty bananas today. So,
well, you want to go ahead and give your shill real quick to Tilla?
Yeah. You guys can follow me on Twitter or X at @Attila_. I talk Raw, SmackDown, AEW Dynamite, TNA Impact. Go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, occasional Saturdays and Sundays, and for all things TNA, you can check me out every Thursday on Body Slam. And then you guys make sure you check out the videos I'm uploading. I just uploaded Rhea Ripley beating Liv Morgan, so just make sure you guys hit that bell so you get notified whenever I upload that content.
Yes.
there you go.
All right. Well, thank you for popping in and joining us for a little bit, Datilla, as Avatar Girl. As tired as you were, we appreciate you.
God bless you for that.
Hopefully, you can pop in a little bit tomorrow during the show.
We'll see.
Definitely try.
We'll see. Alrighty then. Have a great night, you guys.
You too.
Good night.
See you
Okay,
tomorrow.
bye.
That was the most tired plugs I've ever heard in my life. Holy shit.
And number 3.
I've never heard the whole thing of like on YouTube you have to really be animated when you plug your stuff. That was the most unanimated I've ever heard. And don't forget to hit the subscribe, follow the notification.
That was as unintentionally funny as Noah's deadpan. Shut the fuck up, Josh.
Dude, it was so fucking funny. I love that. It was funny. Poor girl. Oh my god.
It's in your voice.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I wasn't supposed to say anything until tomorrow, but I'm tired and I wasn't paying attention. So yeah.
It's all good.
It's all good.
It's probably about time for us to get out of here. Also, I knew we were going to do a post show. I knew it was probably going to be eventful. I wasn't expecting us to go damn near 3 hours. This damn near shenanigans length.
It was as
And
long as
all
the
we
show
did was
itself.
talk about Raw.
Yeah. Let's see.
But
Can
to
we
be
reach-
fair, we had multiple people on. We had people bounce and come in and come back.
Yeah.
So, it just kind of is what it is. It's the first time we've done one of these, and
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. We'll see if we
Me
do
too.
it again for major shows. James, you want to go ahead and do your shills?
Yes. You guys can find. I'm not going to do the thing tonight. It's too
Thank
late.
you. Please don't.
It's tired. I'm late. You guys can find
tired, I'm
me
late.
on the YouTube, Instagram, and X at JHebertside95 and on Facebook at James Heebman Hebert. I do really cool and sometimes dumb things on the internets, but occasionally I'm smart. Once a week, maybe twice. Go check. Speaking of which, speaking of smart things, go check out my uncle's documentary. That was a smart edit I put together, and that was with this smooth brain that has autism. So if you like to support me, go support my uncle as well. Damn near running up to 2K. I'd love to reach that before the end of the month because we're that close there. Run that shit up because I love that it's getting this natural growth. Like I've said it before, I'll say it again. The fact that it has this much natural growth and we haven't even done proper promotion yet. Like that's unheard of on YouTube nowadays.
Yeah,
2K views in like what the span of a month, 2.5 months is like unheard of. So thank you all so much for that. Go check out the Jay Hebert Side of Things podcast, episode 22 and episode 23, possibly episode 24, depending on, although kind of said what I needed to say on Phil Marks' show and Dude Loves Wrestling show. So I don't know. Do I need to? And on Twitter Spaces? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe not.
Not everybody probably heard you on those other forums. So to do it on your own forum, on your own channel is always a good thing as well.
Yeah, true that. So it will happen when it happens. Right now, I backed up. So it will happen when it happens.
It'll be.
Make sure you follow the Simple Man Noah Foster, who was there par excellence for the call this evening and will be there once again for New Year's Evil tomorrow. You can find him on X, Instagram, and YouTube at nfoster1916 or on Facebook at Noah Foster because he loves professional wrestling. Damn it.
Bro, MVP, him and Walter. MVP.
Speaking of Walter, you can follow Walter at Rage of Wrestling on YouTube, Walter.Cruz.940 on Instagram, Walter Alex Cruz on X and Blue Sky, and SRS1983 on Twitch. Like James said, man, MVPs, both of them. They did the entire week of Japanese professional wrestling and Fight for the Fallen in the middle of it all. So good. Then they finally get about a week break after tomorrow because we will come back with Maximum Carnage on the 15th of January for Dynamite. But still, they get a little over a week break. We all do. Well deserved.
Yes, I saw the post you put up on the numbers. Congratulations, you guys. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams, X and Blue Sky, ROW JJ Williams, Casa D18 Studios on YouTube. Hef.
So ignore it. Ignore the bottom white text as far as the Disney font because that's not happening. I'll explain.
Yeah.
Right here. _ Jeff Meacham on Blue Sky, on Twix and Instagram, at Jeff Meacham on YouTube and Facebook. And the channel is actually going to relaunch the Monday after the Royal Rumble, February 3rd. I realized how much I scheduled myself this week and went between that this week, between Dylan starting school next Monday, January is just batshit.
Yeah.
So, and going back again, I'm like, you know what? I overdid it. I overbooked. Yeah.
This is why I love Emmanuel. Every time Walter's wife hits him because of Lola, an angel gets its wings.
We are bad people for making the graphic a reality. I'm a bad person.
No, we're bad people for making that Noah graphic.
That's valid.
Yeah, that was that. I'm so glad he was actually not as pissed as I thought he was because oh my god, I was so petrified. Like I got to play damage control.
But
I feel
something
so bad.
that'll piss James off. Make sure you guys tune in January 18th when we do karaoke of songs with the word something in the title.
Oh no.
That'll be James's reaction. I hate the show, JJ.
No. Oh, it's me in the Noah seat. I'm not looking forward to karaoke. Unbelievable.
But we want to thank everybody for joining us for this wild ride. Almost 3.5 hours of a watch along.
Yeah.
Almost 3 hours of post-show coverage.
Yes.
Again, don't know when we'll do another one of these after shows,
I would
because
also
going 3 hours every time I think is a little bit much. But at the same time, it just depends on the show.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
This-
guys
this
know
is
that
too much.
after the Saturday PLEs, you can always tune into the shenanigans, and that's kind of the post show there. But as far as a Monday through Friday, we'll see when we do it again. Part of me wants to do one for Evil tomorrow, and the other part of me is like, I don't want to go 3 hours again.
I want to
Immediately follow.
I need a break. To be fair, also,
But I'm also not doing For the Love of Wrestling right now.
Yeah.
So this kind of fills that void. It's almost like a For the Love of Wrestling.
To be fair, also, we had already said we're going to be on Phil Marks' show, me and DJ, so you would be short 2 people. So
That's fair.
There you go. Before you sign off, Jay, I just want to say really quick, again, a thank you to Aaron Rift and NerdQ.com for
Yes.
that retweet that just hopefully sent our views over the moon.
Yes, yes.
It wasn't even a
So-
retweet. He just tweeted it for us. I messaged him privately and was like,
Oh.
would you mind promoting our watch along tonight, whether you put it on the No DQ site
Yeah,
or a
yeah.
tweet? And he was like, yeah, no problem. And then he put out that tweet.
Good for him, man. Thank you very much, Aaron.
And Jeff will tell you, Aaron Rift 15 years ago, that would have been a no.
Hard now.
Hard no.
Hard.
Like not even a let me think about it.
That is 2 things. We all grown up in that 15 years, and he got himself a good wife now.
Hey,
That's a big deal.
Exhibit B, Young Bucks, of how to grow the fuck up. Sorry.
2,637 views on that tweet.
Just that post. Yeah.
Yeah, just that tweet. That doesn't translate into views on the watch along. But that many people saw Aaron Rift post about us.
That's awesome, yeah. Thank you very much, man.
If we can start getting him to do that more frequently for our watch alongs, we will start seeing growth. I don't expect it, but since we have a pretty active partnership with him, considering pretty much all of us appear at some point on the reviews or prediction streams, it's definitely something that could come further down the road in 2025.
Yeah, to be fair, tomorrow we're in almost direct competition. We're going live halfway through the review. So it is what it is.
It's not a bad idea, Daniel, but I just can't see doing it with every watch along we do.
Sorry, don't mean to interrupt. I hit 5K.
Congrats.
Hey, it just happened now when I checked.
Congratulations, James.
Thank you. Sorry, I needed to pat myself on the back.
Well, and I don't know if you saw the thing in the chat, but you did over 1,000 views alone, James,
Yeah,
for the Noah watch along.
That surprised the shit out of me. I was like, wow. But I did notice also, apparently a lot of people dislike bombed it. I don't know if they thought, I think it was some of the people that was like, oh, is it the actual show? And then they realized it wasn't, and then they got mad. Even though it says watch along in the title. People don't know how to read. But
Again, you know,
views.
it's the fans like y'all that make 5,000 subscribers, 1,000 views just on his channel on a watch along. Probably close to 3,500 views total combined by the time we get to shenanigans on Friday or Saturday. Excuse me, I'm tired. You know, thank you. And thank you to the 10 of you that are still watching this. But we are going to go ahead and sign off now before we hit the 3-hour mark. So for Josh Mansfield, for Big G, for Datilla, for DJ at Rock the Ropes, for Ryan, for Jeff, for Walter, for Noah, even though he didn't come here this evening, for James and myself. We are the crew for the Simply Reliable Studios. Thanking you for joining us and tuning in. We'll catch you guys next time.
There you go.